going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to the Detroit Lions 31-23 to end their season. How do we start off this show? As we always do here on a nightly basis, whether it's Monday, Wednesday, before and after Bucs games. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Nothing to be ashamed of, Bucs fans. But it is what it is, Ferris. Thanks a lot for coming on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It comes down to, first and foremost, we talked about it. You got to win the turnover battle there. You turn the ball over in the first half, an ill-advised throw, and then it looks like Mayfield, with all the greatness that he had this year, with all the great throws that he made, you can't force that ball to Cade Otton, who had a hell of a game. It's not there. It was there for the middle for the Lions against the Bucs, but it wasn't there on that play. And then essentially it's just academic at that point because your defense is not able to get off the field. So I want to hear from you, Bucs fans. I know there's some disappointment. It was a hell of a season. It was a hell of a game. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 live here from Riverters. Just give me your general thoughts of not only this game, but the season in general. Welcome to the Evolution.
Yes, sir. I ain't gonna lie. It hurt.
Yeah?
This one stung a little bit.
Right.
We had this game all the way up until the fourth quarter, and it felt like we had the momentum.
Well,
it felt like we had the momentum.
You felt like you had the momentum because the Bucs come charging back there. A great play call by Dave Canales and crew with Baker Mayfield realizing a blitz. You call a screen there to Rachaad White. You get in, you tie the score, and then your defense has to get off the field. They can't get off the field. 5 plays, 75 yards, and you tip your hat. But Jared Goff in that second half was money, and the pressure just didn't get there enough consistently. I'll tell you what, let's go out to the phone lines. Welcome to the Evolution after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to the Detroit Lions 31-23. Trevor, is this you?
Yeah, how you doing, Peter?
I'm doing good, buddy. How you doing? Go ahead.
Well,
yes.
First and foremost, I want to say go Bucs.
Yes, go Bucs. Absolutely, go Bucs.
Let's go! Reflect on our season and just say how really proud I am of the team, man. Like, we come to the end. That's all you really ask for. I'm not going to sit here and beat him on based on that last season. I mean, he obviously know he probably couldn't do that ball, so that's upset with that. But, yeah, man, I mean, at the end of the day, I think Detroit, they just outplayed them. You know, they were more physical with the line of scrimmage. And I can live with the fact that we've been outplayed. When we beat ourselves is when I get upset. So, I think it was a hell of a run. I'm proud of the team. I love our fans. I'm in here in Atlanta. The turnout here in Atlanta was amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the turnout down there in Riverters was
it was amazing. It's an amazing day, and it was an exciting game. And I tell you right now, it comes down to the fourth quarter. That's all you could ask for. And listen, there wasn't much expected out of this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. Let's face it. Peter King thought they were a 2-3 win team. When they were 4-7, nobody thought this team was going to make the charge that they did in December, and they do. They have a 4-game winning streak and get to the playoffs. Nobody thought that they were going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, and they dominate the Philadelphia Eagles. And nobody thought they would be in this game today, and guess what? They were in this game today. But when they needed to make a play defensively, offensively, special teams, because Chase McLaughlin has been money. He missed a 50-yard field goal today, and somebody has to explain to me why you're going for a 2-point conversion when there's no need to go for a 2-point conversion. And somebody has to explain to me also, when do you get a call in this game? Because clearly the defender was face guarding Mike Evans, and you don't make that call, yet you make the call against Carlton Davis for nothing at all. So I don't understand the consistency. It is what it is at the end of the day. Bucs lose to a better team, and good luck to the Lions because they're going to have their hands full with the 49ers. But I tell you right now, credit where credit is due. Jared Goff was phenomenal in the second half today. Jahmyr Gibbs was a big-time main reason why they had some big-time plays. And St. Brown can't say his first name, but St. Brown was phenomenal today too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, you guys get your hat off to the team. They were just a better team.
Our defense did what they could do,
Yeah.
but they broke down when we really needed them.
Yeah, you really
Right.
did. And I'll give you a play here, Trevor, and you can go ahead and Paul. I know you tried to call in, so try to call in again as we're going to get to as many calls as possible. But when it's 3rd and 15. You got to find a way to get off the field. You can't go prevent defense or zone defense or whatever. They get 16 yards, and that's basically the game. Again, credit to where credit is due. The Lions did everything they needed to do to win this game today, including beat that Bucs defense when it counted.
Yeah, I agree. I will tip my hat off to the Lions offensive line. I think they did an exceptional job this year.
Yeah.
Especially in this game. I mean, Jared Goff had all day to throw back there. And
Yep.
I mean, you know, it is what it is. I mean, that's the strength of their team. And then, like you said, a couple things I didn't understand. I did not understand going forward on 2. I'd rather just play, get the extra point, hope to score another touchdown.
Yeah.
Maybe would have went for 2 then if that, you know. But in that situation, it's down. I don't see the point in going for it. But yeah, the 3rd and 15. Yeah, you got to find a way to cover the 3rd.
Yeah,
players go down to the defense.
Agree.
You got to take advantage of that. So,
And look, I think you would have to say here, Trevor, and thanks a lot for the call, that this Bucs defense overall looked like they were tired, looked like they were gassed out. And that's the scary thing about this Lions team that I'll give credit. I have lots of Lions fans out there that thought they would win this game easily today. They beat you up on both sides of the ball. And once again, somebody has to explain to me how at most crucial times you can have breakdowns by Luke Gedeke, who I thought really had a bad game, and Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, you allow Hutchinson to get in there, unblocked. I mean, that's just going to be big trouble for you. Trevor, anything else here on the evolution?
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, and I'll go ahead and let some other calls come in. But I'll say, heading to the offseason, we absolutely have to upgrade that offensive line. I don't care what nobody says. These guys done got better. They improved. We can go out there and get some better pieces. That's all I'll say. Anyway, go Bucs. I love the team, and I'm excited for next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Go Bucs.
Let's go!
Go Bucs.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Thanks a lot for the call, my friend. Appreciate you. As always, use that second call if you want to. What else did you see out of this game? And I don't know if you can get somebody in the back there that could kind of turn down the music just a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty loud.
We got to talk about it.
What
like
now?
our Bucs was supposed to be here.
Right.
Everybody knows our Bucs was supposed to be here, and we really we're the top 8 teams in the NFL.
Right.
Let's be real.
Right.
Everybody said when Brady retired, we was going to go to the basement. We weren't supposed to be where we were supposed to be.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's hold that thought. Let's go out to Paul. Paul, welcome to the evolution after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to the Detroit Lions 31-23. Your thoughts?
I got through.
Yeah, you got through.
How you been?
What's going on, buddy? Calling all the way from Honduras.
Here on the island. I am in Honduras. I'm sitting on an island in the Caribbean looking out the beautiful ocean. Bucs played a great game today.
Yeah, they did.
Well,
They did.
I think they could have. I think they could have played better. I definitely think they could have played better.
Of course. I mean, they
Yes.
didn't win. Of
Yes.
course. I mean,
Yes.
of course they could have played better.
Right.
I mean, there was always a play here and there, but I didn't have a problem with them going for 2. I thought it was the right call at the time. I wish the referee would have called the PI, but Mike Evans should have stuck his foot in the ground and let them be knock him over,
Yep.
and they would have thrown the flag.
Yep.
I mean, it's still a good season. I think the Bucs should re-sign Baker. I think they should re-sign Mike Evans. I think they should go all out and they should be a good team next year.
Well,
They played well this year.
They got it. Listen, they got an opportunity to get better in free agency. Their cap situation will be much better because you come into the season, you decide to absorb that $80 million of Tom Brady cap, so you should have a lot more cap. You got some big decisions to make. I tell you right now, the decision should already be made. Look at these numbers. Mike Evans, 8 catches, 147 yards, 1 touchdown. I hope this is not the final time we saw Evans, but
Oh, it's not. It's not going to be.
If-
Every time.
yeah,
Mike Evans needs to be resigned.
Yeah,
we
definitely.
all know it.
Definitely.
He needs to retire as a Buccaneer.
he definitely does,
agree.
and I thought he played fantastic today. I thought, especially that second half, that right before the first half there, halftime, big time couple catches there, 29 and 27, which puts you, gives you the momentum and ties up the score from 10-3 because largely that Bucs offense was ineffective. And yeah, I definitely agree. You got to pay Mike Evans, and you got to figure it out. You better figure it out fast. And listen, I have confidence in Jason Line and Mike Greenberg. They'll be able to do the right thing. And Evans, Winfield Jr., they got some decisions to make in this offseason, but I feel like you're going to be much better off in this offseason than you were last offseason. Again, not much was expected. What else did you see out of this game, Paul?
Oh, I would have liked to see more aggression, especially in the first half. But you can't pitch. I like the game. And people cry about Todd Bowles. He's too conservative, And yeah, I agree. But damn it, they only have so much.
Yeah.
I mean, they were $80 million short in cap. They did not build that team to go for a Super Bowl. They built that team to get through the year and let's see what we got for next year. And I think they did great in that respect.
Yeah, I like his attitude. I like this call, Paul. Thanks a lot for the call. Keep on calling here. Use that second call if you like to, my friend. All right? All right, good stuff there.
Yeah.
Open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. I know you got to get out of here, so I appreciate the time, my friend. Thank you very much for coming on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. So it's just me and you here on the Evolution after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to the Detroit Lions 31-23. Just not able to get it done today. And again, give credit to where credit is due for this Lions team. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Hey, what's going on, Peter? It's Jeff from Temple Terrace.
What's going on, Jeff? What were your thoughts on this game after the Bucs fall to the Lions? Stand by. Hold on a second. Caller, we got Jeff on the line. Stand by. We'll get back out to you in a moment. All right, go ahead, Jeff. Jeff, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to echo the last caller and some of your thoughts, man. I mean, we definitely exceeded expectations this year, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
But I got to, it's tough. When you get this far, you want to see them finish it out, and you want to see things get cleaned up. And, man, that's as much as I've loved Baker this year, that's a Baker Mayfield interception to end the game there. That was rough.
Yeah, that's rough. That's tough because, again, there's nothing there. He's forcing it over the middle. I know you're trying to make a play, but it's not the play that needs to be made at that point. You need to live the fight another day, and those are the type of plays that drive a lot of Bucs fans crazy and say, why is Baker Mayfield going to come back with an extension? Can you alleviate those? But much more positive in this game from Baker than I think negative. But once again, it comes back to it, Jeff. You don't win the turnover battle. Who's the better team? The Lions, because they have no turnovers. The Bucs have 2, and that hurt them today. It hurt them, and it hurts the momentum. We saw, the first half where you get no points. You get no points on those. So, disappointing.
My other thing is I don't understand why we didn't get into some up-tempo offense throughout this year, and especially this game.
Yeah.
We tend to turn it on when we get up-tempo. We get some momentum rolling. We got the receivers. We didn't see a lot of that this year. It's a momentum changer. I didn't see a lot of that. And my final thoughts are, like I said, for the year I'm happy, but man, sometimes football, the players just seem to overcomplicate things, man. You're missing blocks. It's Aiden Hutchinson. He's their best rusher, and you're going to let him free 2 or 3 times. I don't get it. It's just that should be so simple. And for some reason, you're missing assignments, and you're just overcomplicating things in your head. I'm like, just go play football and make the plays. Don't let the quarterback get killed back there.
Yeah. This offensive line definitely needs to be improved. And I know there's people out there that want to draft a quarterback because you have lots of quarterbacks in this class. I don't think the Bucs are going to be able to pick one. I think they're going to go with Mayfield, depending on how much the price is. They bring him back. But you definitely need to improve this offensive line, especially in that interior. I don't go the right guard. I go left guard and possibly center position. And I also look at Gedeke. I thought Gedeke played well for the majority of the year, but definitely had his bumps in the road, especially today. And you're exactly right. The devil is in the details, right, my friend? I mean, you're playing a good team. You're playing a great team. You can't have those mishaps. You cannot allow Aiden Hutchinson to come free to your quarterback. Bad things are going to happen.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a game plan today, which they did it a couple times, where they allowed Hutchinson on a free release and they go out to the running back or they go out to the tight end. But that did not look like the play there with Gedeke. And again, it just kills the momentum of this team and their offense. Anything else here, Jeff?
Yeah, I would say last thing is I don't understand the lack of blitz today. If you give Jared Goff plenty of time, he will carve you up in the soft zone all day long, and that's exactly what he did over the middle of the field. So, I mean, I get it. Hindsight is 20/20, but man, 3rd and 15 at a game-changing point, and you don't blitz. You just give him all the time in the world back there. That stuff was frustrating. But in the end, it's all right. We had a solid season. We got a lot to build off of. I think you signed Mayfield for maybe a 2-year. See if you can prove it a couple more years in Canales' system, and then you go from there. Get some pieces of free agency, get some draft picks, but anyway, go Bucs.
Yeah, definitely go Bucs, my friend. Appreciate
How about
you.
them Bucs, baby?
Thanks a lot for the call. Use that second call if you like to, Jeff. Good stuff there. Let me go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Evolution live here from Riverters after the Bucs fall to the lines 31-23. Go.
Hey, Peter, Jeremy. How you holding up, bro?
Hey, man, I'm good. It's been a great time today. Great atmosphere, and you had to feel good about this, Jeremy. When you tied the game up there with White in that screen pass, which is a great call by Canales and well executed by this Bucs offense to tie the game up. You have to feel good that you have the momentum, but your defense is not able to get off the field. The Lions go down 5 plays, 75 yards. Stand by for a minute, Jeremy. Caller, we're gonna get out to you in a moment. We're gonna finish up with Jeremy, and then we'll come on to you. Stand by. Jeremy, go ahead here. What your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm very proud of how far this team got. I mean, you got to give credit to these young players that came in as rookies and just step up to the plate.
Yeah.
And then plus, Baker, I think, will be back next season for sure. I think he played his heart out best he could with whatever he can.
Yeah.
I think we can improve on some of the things that we didn't do so well in the game. But at the end of the day, you got to tip your hat off to this football team. And like I said, I love my Bucs, and until next season.
That's it. Until next season. It was a great season. That was a great ride. The Bucs had the opportunities, but again, it comes back to what? The better team makes plays today. The better team doesn't commit those turnovers. The better team doesn't allow their quarterback to get sacked with the free release. You're exactly right. And of course, Jamel Dean going on in this game didn't help matters either because, besides missing that interception, which I thought Dean had an opportunity on that first drive where the Lions settled for a field goal, you have an opportunity to not only get an interception, but take it back to the house, and you're not able to do that. So with that being said, Jeremy, appreciate the call. Use that second call if you want to. Go Bucs. Let me go back out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution. Okay, so open phone lines if you want to call up, 727-255. Let's go out to Alex. Alex, welcome to the Evolution. Your thoughts on the Bucs losing to the Lions today?
Hey, buddy, let me start off by saying, dude, I appreciate meeting you in the great tonight. I know I had to leave out early, but guys, what a great season, man. I'm not going to talk about one negative thing here tonight.
Yeah.
Let's look at the positive, guys. We were supposed to have, like I said earlier, 6 wins.
Yeah.
We came out. We knocked out let's be real. We still got the division. Yes, Is it the best division? No. But let's be real. We got the division. We knocked the Steelers out. We played great.
Yep.
Do I think we showed up today in all phases? Of course not. I think we have improvement to do. But, you know, I'm proud of this team. I'm proud of what we put on the field today. Was it perfect? No. Are we going home? Yes. But you know what? If you are a real Bucs fan and you believe in you never jump ship no matter what, you are proud of what you saw this season. But just real quick, two things before I go, Peter.
Sure.
I'm not going to keep a lot of your time tonight. Number one, I appreciate everything you guys do in the community, on your podcast, on the sports web. It's great. It's fun. It's interactive. I've had a lot of fun with you guys this season. I look forward to doing this with you guys for season to come. But number two, just before I go, let's look at the off season real quick just before I go. Just a quick thought. A lot of people are already posting about the off season because, you know, that's how it works. People don't waste time.
Sure.
I'm going to see Baker back next year. He deserves a good contract. I hope he comes back. Of course, the Bucs are going to re-sign Mike Evans. I'm going to be bold here. I want Devin White to walk. I don't want him back.
Yeah, I mean, will the real Devin White please stand up, because he was disappearing today. He was disappeared, and you know, it just middle linebacker was also, you know, KJ Britt, you know, being beat by Gibbs. You know, that's a matchup you can't have happen. And Gibbs not only, you know, whiffs on the coverage there for the little wheel route, but also he misses the tackle. And Gibbs is a big part of what the Lions wanted to do. That's the reason why you draft a kid in the middle round. He's explosive. He kind of reminds me shades of Warrick Dunn, because you want to get him out in space. Little guy, but when he hit the hole today, I tell you right now, he hit the hole, and he hit the hole hard. 31 yards there, a big-time play, and the Bucs overall not able to shut down the running game of the Lions, which they were able to do versus the Eagles. They weren't able to do it versus this Lions team today. What else?
And you always say credit is due where it's deserved, but let's be real.
Yeah.
That Lions offensive line showed up. I mean, it doesn't matter what we do. It's not that we weren't trying to blitz at Jared Goff today. We couldn't. We couldn't. Their offensive line held us the entire game. So you have to give them some credit. I know it sucks, guys. Bucs fans, it's frustrating, but you know what? There's nothing to be disappointed on what you saw this season. But hey, real quick.
Yes.
A couple props up to a couple small guys. Trey Dotton showed up today.
Oh, he showed up throughout the playoffs. He showed up throughout the year, and a lot of people trying to replace him, you know, with draft picks. And I just think, and it goes back to what Anthony Beck said on the J.P. Peterson show, in the former, you know, first-round pick tight end. He just said this kid, you know, he just needs the reps. And the more reps this kid is getting, and he needs to get, you know, stronger at the point of attack. You'll get better with the blocking game, but overall, he's got it. He's got it all. You can see why they drafted him in the 4th round. And I tell you right now, I feel like this kid is only going to get better and better. But he definitely showed out today. Showed out throughout the whole season. I thought he was good. He was good against the Eagles, and he was good against the Lions today.
Hey, and another guy, Trey Palmer, he showed up today. Another small guy that doesn't get talked about too often. Has he been 100% lights out this season? Has he had a couple drop passes? Yeah, sure. But I think Trey Palmer played great today. But, of course, hey, Peter, just real quick, going into the offseason, you got to lock down Mike Evans. This shouldn't even be a discussion. That should even be going to the offseason. You're going to lock in Mike Evans. You're going to lock in Baker Mayfield, in my opinion. And then you're just going to work from there. Don't reset what you have. You pulled off without this was not supposed to happen. A lot of rookies stepped up, a lot of small guys stepped up, and a lot of big guys stepped up. Mike Evans had another incredible year. Chris Godwin had another incredible year, if I'm going into the draft and I'm looking at some things that are you know, that need to be worked on, I'm going to build an offensive line and go from there. That offensive line was not there for Baker today.
No.
Plain and simple.
It definitely wasn't. It wasn't good. And, you know, again, the Lions, they got after it. And it didn't help when your offensive tackle was missing assignments. Alex, thanks a lot for the time.
Thanks,
appreciate you. Great to meet you. Let's get out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Peter, this is Jeff up in Detroit. How are you, buddy?
You're doing better than I am, my friend. I know you want to gloat, so go ahead and gloat here. Welcome to the Sports Web. Congratulations to your Lions.
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate your Tampa Bay Buccaneers because honestly, they played a tough game. Honestly, right up until that Derek Barnes interception, I was nervous. I did agree with your coach going for 2, though, but I will tell you, I think the difference, we are bend but don't break. A lot of times, I think you saw the gaudy numbers our defensive backs were putting up or letting wide receivers get.
Yeah.
But it is tough to run against us. And I'm going to tell you, Hutchinson was everywhere. But you know what? Don't be too hard on your offensive line because Hutchinson's been all over the field all year long like that. So,
yeah, and
honestly, I like your team. You got a gritty team.
Yeah, gritty, not pretty. I think that's what the great Christopher Cole, one of our web heads, said on this program. You're exactly right, and they definitely need some retooling there. And but it goes back to what we talked about with the Lions. Jared Goff, 99 yards at halftime. Let me go out to Harry the Greek, professional handicap extraordinaire of the Sports Web. Greek, what did you see that second half? We talked about it. Goff, 99 yards. You start to feel good about this Bucs team, 10-10. The Lions go for it on 4th down with Craig Reynolds moving in there, 17-10. The Bucs come right back with a splendid play call to Rachaad White there to tie it up. And then your defense is not able to get off the field there. 5 plays, 75 yards. What do you say about this team in the second half? Welcome to the Evolution.
Well, I have to tell you, Pete, by the way, how you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm okay. A little disappointed in the outcome of the game. That's why I said, in the first half, they didn't blitz as much. In the second half, I said, set the dogs loose. And I said it was going to be a dogfight in the best second half. Make sure you bet the over in the game. Remember when you were talking about that? The game did go over.
Sure.
And I also said bet the over in the second half. That drive that they went down, they weren't putting any pressure on them. They were showing a more 4-man front, and they were sitting back, staying pretty. I didn't understand it.
And you don't like it. It doesn't work. And you give credit. I keep on saying this, but you give credit to where credit is due.
The 2-point conversion just confused me.
Anybody
that says they understand it, you don't know football. Sorry, you just don't.
Yeah.
You don't. It still was it was still going to be a 2-possession game. Are you kidding me? For what? It was only 1 possession after they went for it. A little disappointing. Great season by the Buccaneers, especially for the people that thought they were only going to win 3 or 4 ball games. Told you.
Well, they definitely didn't win 3 or 4 ball games, and look, they had their opportunities today to win this game. I go back to the defense. I want to finish up with our caller, who's a big-time Lions fan. Give him.
How about them Lions?
What did you see from your team today? Because I thought the defense stepped up, even though you give up some big yards there to Mike Evans. You did enough. You got after Baker Mayfield. What did you see?
A couple things. We're bend but don't break, and it is frustrating to watch.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It gets scary to watch sometimes. But our front 7, our linebackers, honestly, they don't get the credit they deserve. Anzalone, Campbell, and Barnes have played out of their minds all year.
Yeah.
When we blitz, we get pressure. Hutchinson, we need to find one more piece for Hutchinson. Houston practiced all week and was inactive today, which honestly bummed me out. I feel like we would have had a couple more sacks. But I'm going to tell you who my game ball goes to.
Okay.
Our center, Frank Ragnow, who just created hole after hole, hurt his knee twice. This guy, and again, not a lot of people hear about him because he's a center. This guy has got inoperable toes that they've already told him they're probably going to have to remove when he retires.
Wow.
This guy hurt his knee, and he was just a stud all day. Every big run we got, look where we went. We went over Ragnow or we went over Penei Sewell. I'm telling you, Dan Campbell said it. Grit. Anybody that plays for the Detroit Lions is going to have grit. And I'm a 52-year-old man. And in the last 2 weeks, I have seen them win more playoff games than I saw in my first 52 years of life. We're going to the Super Bowl, boys. We're
Yep.
going, and hey, Tampa Bay, you fleeced us in that Austin Meadows trade, Peter Blake. Get on the bandwagon. Come with us. We're all rooting for you with Tom Brady. Get on
Zero
board.
chance.
Zero chance. You got a Bears fan as my co-host, also a Bucs fan.
Zero chance.
Jeff, we appreciate the call.
Congratulations on the playoff win.
Enjoy it. We'll see what they do
I
versus San
appreciate you
Francisco.
guys.
Appreciate you. Never be a stranger on the Evolution. Let's go back out to the phone lines here. Welcome
the
to the
bandwagon.
Evolution. What's your name? Where you calling from? Hello. Welcome to the Sports Web.
Who are you calling?
Calling you. Is this Shadow?
It is.
All right. Your thoughts
I
on the
can
game?
barely hear you, though.
You can't hear me at all?
Hang up and call back.
Barely.
You're going to have to hang up and call back, though. I don't know.
Turn your volume up, Shadow.
I think the other thing here you look at is the running game. As we talked about it, Gibbs, big-time factor, didn't play in the first game. They were excited to get him not only in the draft but also back in this game. Let's go back out to the phone lines here. Welcome to the Evolution. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Josh, and I'm calling from Brandon, Florida.
All right, your thoughts here after your Bucs fall to the Lions 31-23.
We have so much to work on. Our secondary is garbage.
Not good. Not good today.
No, not good at all. Baker, the first interception fell on Evans. Evans, I don't know what his deal is with him. Like,
Whoa. Did you just say that first interception fell on Mike Evans?
Well,
yes, I did.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you who you really need to blame. Here is two people you need to blame. Okay? First off, that play never should have been called. It was 3rd and 17. Okay? You are trying to play for a field position battle. That ball should have been either a draw, a run, or a very short screen. The likelihood of you completing on 3rd and 17, literally zero chance. Baker had no chance to throw the ball that came in with the blitz, and then they dropped 6. And let me tell you something. That was one ill-advised pass. First and foremost, I blame Canales for the play call, and I blame Canales. Those are the two people I want to blame for the play call. Never should have been called, ever.
I can agree with that. But where do we go from here? Is Bowles in a hot seat now, or like
hot seat?
What do y'all think?
Yeah,
I told you, Peter.
Let me answer this question as I turned up my lights. I hope they're not too bright there because I'm trying to get a little bit light in here as I thought it was a little bit dark. Let me come out to here. Let me just check this out. I don't think Bowles is in the hot seat. I think he's definitely done enough. I think there's a lot of people that were complaining today that he kind of went back to the conservative ways of not blitzing, playing back, bend, don't break. That's their defense. And then the 2-point conversion. But do I think he's on the hot seat? Not at all. I think
he got himself an extension.
Yeah.
This team was supposed to win 4 ball games, according to every pundit around the country, from everybody in the media. Are you kidding me? Everybody had this team at 3 and 4 wins. They win 9 ball games, and you made it 1 game from going to the NFC Championship, which they could have very easily had won this game. It was tied 10-10. There was 2 bonehead calls, had nothing to do with Todd Bowles. If anything, Todd Bowles just got himself an extension.
Well, I definitely think he earned an extension. What do you say? Do you think he earned an extension in your opinion, or do you still have doubts about Todd Bowles?
I have doubts. To me, he's just way too conservative for me. I like the coach that has fire that's going to ignite these players, not just stand there.
Yeah.
Did you have doubts last week? I'm just asking. Be honest.
Did I have doubts? Yes, I've had doubts since the beginning of the season.
Okay, well, at least your feelings never varied, because we've been dealing with all the fans throughout Tampa Bay and this country that call into the sports web, that constantly follow the show, that have had doubts. If that's the truth, that's fine. How would your doubts have been if he won this game?
Yeah.
If he would have won, I probably would have still had doubts, because he shows no emotions on the sidelines at all.
That doesn't make you a bad coach.
Yeah, I don't necessarily makes you a bad coach. I think a little bit of that, and a lot of fans continue to say that he shows no emotion. We don't know what he shows in the locker room, but here's what we do know. Even when this team was down 31-17, they didn't quit. Now, Is it on him for the slow starts, for not having this team prepared? Yeah, I definitely think. But again, you have to feel good about it. Going into halftime at 10-all, you tie the game up at 17. The defense is not able to get off the field. Now, is that because the defense is gas? Yeah. Is that because the Lions are better offensively at that point, dominating with their offensive line, dominating the game? Yeah, I think so. Let me go ahead and run, man.
I don't think they dominated it all, Pete.
I appreciate the call. Let me go out to Jim. Jim, welcome to the Evolution as your Bucs fall to the Lions 31-23.
So what up, man? I'm on the other side. I'm a South Bowls fan. Thank you.
There you go.
You are. I know you are. Yes.
Yeah, Peter Blake know I am.
Yep.
So he did all he could do, man. We ain't supposed to be this far. We didn't supposed to make it all the way this
There
far.
you go. There's the spirit. Congratulations on a great season. That's what you're supposed to be saying. It's okay to be a little disappointed because you're not going to the NFC Championship.
Sure.
Let's be real.
Yeah,
okay, this game was not out of control. But man, please don't come on here and tell me you got doubts because Todd Bowles. Man, Todd Bowles didn't call this offensive game plan. Not at all. You threw an interception because you were 3rd and 17. You're trying to push the ball downfield. That's the problem.
And then the last interception there. Go ahead and Jim, we'll get back to you in a moment.
That's Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, that's a bad throw because it's not there. It's not there at that point, and that's where you have to go somewhere else, throw the ball away, or live to fight another day.
Man, I'm getting fired up. I'm not supposed to be fired up.
That's okay. That's all right. That's okay. Jim, what else did you see from this game today?
I did want to prove the pundits wrong, man, again. And it was looking good when we got that thing back tied up 10-10. But that playing from behind stuff, I knew it was gonna catch up with us.
Well, yeah, you can't play from behind. You can't get 30. You can't get down 31-17. Your defense has to get a stop. They have to get a stop on 3rd and 15. Jim, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you as always, my friend. Let me go ahead and give you the Macho Man.
Yeah.
Call back if you like to. Harry, let's go back out to it. 3rd and 15. You feel good about it. I believe Levante David has a sack there. You're putting yourself in a great situation. And then the Lions, they get 16 yards. Look like
it's going to happen. And the Buccaneers went for it on 4th down. They made it. Listen, I had no problem with the gameplay calling except for that first quarter on that drive. That to me, and I looked at you when we were over there at Riverters, and I was sitting right next to you, and I looked up and I said, that could be a problem. That right there is a problem. Because you gave up short field position. Whenever you're going against a team that can be as explosive as Detroit offensively, you've got to play field position. There was nothing wrong with the way Tampa Bay played defense in this game. In the first half, they did exactly what I thought they were going to do. Baker Mayfield drops them back and gets them to go ahead and tie the game because Detroit was playing prevent defense on that one drive. But you know what? They all do it in the National Football League. They have that bend, but don't break mentality. The second half was a little bit of a different story. We can narrow it down in any game that's a one-possession game to a couple of drives, and that, my friend, was the reason why they lost. It wasn't because of the fourth quarter. They never would have been in that position. It was that play on 3rd and 17 in the first quarter. That's my opinion, and I will take that to my grave.
All right, let's go ahead and read some comments. Go Lions. See you next year, Bucks. Thanks a lot, Roger. Appreciate you. KR says, hey, guys, go Bucks. Hell of a season.
Hey,
lots
KR.
to grow from. I mean, KR, you sum it up. And I know there's a lot of disappointed Bucs fans right now that are looking at it and saying, you know, this team had an opportunity to win this game. You know, they continue to commit mistakes, 2 turnovers, give up sacks. That was disappointing in itself. But lots to grow from. And I tell you right now, the future is bright because you can go in to free agency this year and feel better about your cap situation because you took that $80 million cap hit. Where would you go? I didn't see Devin White in this game. I tell you what, let's go back out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution after the Bucs fall to the Lions 31-23. You're on with yours truly along with Harry the Greek. Is this Curtis?
I'm crying over here, man.
Curtis?
Yeah, that's Curtis. I'm crying over here, man.
Why are you crying?
What's up, Curtis?
Oh, man, I don't know. I'm smoking so much right now. I just don't even know.
Wow. All right, Curtis.
No, I'm all right, man. You know what?
It's disappointing. It hurts to be a Bucs fan. I was out here and I'm dealing with it. Yes.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Yes.
Harry, I love you. I miss you, brother.
I miss you too, man.
Listen, it's not disappointing because when this team was 4-7, nobody expected this team to even be where they were.
Yeah.
You know what? You're putting it into perspective, Curtis. Great point. But still,
it's not. No. And they
did well. They could have won this game.
Went out there. They went out there. They played their heart out. The mistakes killed us. And I told my buddy today. I said, if we go out there, we play mistake-free football, we will win this game. Yeah. We didn't play mistake-free football. And they were killing us in the middle of the field.
Yeah, all day long. I couldn't figure that out. And whether that's Devin White, whether that's your safeties, we saw KJ Britt a couple times. Not a good matchup in the first place.
No,
whether it's Devin White or a linebacker, Jamar Gibbs. Jamar Gibbs. That's a tough matchup. That's a tough matchup.
You know what? But I will tell you this.
Yeah.
I did not believe in Baker Mayfield at the beginning of this year, and you know what? That guy, he plays with his heart on his shoulder.
Played his ass off.
You can't do anything but tip your hat to the guy. And you know what? I think we're starting to see Cade Otton blossom a little bit.
I tell you right now, look at the numbers here. Definitely blossoming. 5 catches for 65 yards, 1 touchdown right there to tie it up at 10. And he was phenomenal today with the catches. I know he had some drops throughout the season. I know that he has to get stronger at the point of attack, but I continue, Curtis and Harry, to refer back to former first-round pick Anthony Beck, who I got a chance to talk to on the J.P. Peterson show, and he said about this kid, he just needs some more reps. He just needs some more opportunity, and it certainly seems like every time Otton got the opportunity, he made some plays.
Harry, I love you to death, and I'm going to say this once again. This team was 4-7 going into December.
Yep.
Nobody expected this team to be where they were today.
Yeah.
Nobody. Okay. I let Harry. I love you to death. I don't think Harry could have predicted the team being where they were today.
Well, Harry said, 10 to 13 wins, they had the potential, but who knows? When they were 4-7, I know that there were some doubts with all of us if this team would ever win a game again. And credit to where credit is due. I continue to say that. With their backs against the wall, this team was able to figure it out. They were able to figure it out. They were able to make the plays at the critical times. Win on the road versus Atlanta. Win on the road versus Green Bay, who, by the way, gave San Francisco everything they could handle. Figure out how to beat Carolina at home. Yeah.
I will say this. The one thing I will appreciate, I got respect for Chris Collinsworth, but I don't like him. Anyway.
He's an ass.
Who is?
The one thing
Chris Collinsworth.
The one thing I will say that I can agree with is this team looks so ugly against that 9-0 win against Carolina. We did not know what to expect going into the playoffs.
No, you didn't.
And we kind of I'm gonna reference this to Baker. We limped into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then that playoff game against the dreadful Eagles. But you know what? I don't care how awful you say they are. If the Eagles would have came out there and smoked the Bucs, then nobody wouldn't have said anything.
Nothing. They would have said nothing. They would have said that it was to be expected because
it's the same old Bucs.
Right. And and there were still been fans calling for Todd Bowles' job because this team got blown out. And they come out and blow the doors of the Philadelphia Eagles and have a defensive performance. They couldn't have that performance today because the Lions, they got great weapons. They got a great offensive line. Both sides of the ball, I thought they did. They dominated to a certain degree. And Jared Goff, with all the criticism that everybody puts out there, was good in that second half. He was great in that second half.
Absolutely.
All right.
I just wanted to call and give a shout out, man. I still love my Bucs, and
I know you do.
You know what? I'm gonna take my hat off to Detroit. Congratulations to them boys. They deserve it. You know what I'm saying? So
completely.
And you know what? Good season, Buccaneers, and let's try to build off of this.
Absolutely. Good stuff, Curtis. Woo! Appreciate the call as always. Let's go out to the phone lines here. You're on the Evolution. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek. Yes.
Hey, Peter, and hey, Harry. This is Kevin, KR.
What's up, KR?
Hey, KR. How you doing, buddy? I had to put that up there.
Go ahead, KR. Yeah.
All right. It was a hell of a season, disappointing finish, but overall, I'm proud of this team, and I'm proud to see the future of this team. Like I said, I want to see a lot of growth and development, and we did see that on the field and off the field overall. But like I said, this game was tough. We had a tough team that we played with the Lions, and
Yep.
I just think that this team can definitely use this as momentum to grow into next season. Like I said, we got Brady's money dropping off the book. Hopefully we re-sign Evans and some other key figures. Hopefully Levante wants to come back as well too. I would think for with Baker, we do bring him back to get some more bulk at the offensive line because for him to be a short guy, he can't see over those linemen, and he's continually getting pressured and turn into sacks. So that would be something I will highly look at, and also getting some corners because that drop by Dean was so critical. It really killed the momentum of I think.
That's why he plays defense.
Well, and you're exactly right, KR, and it does kill the momentum, and you got to make those interceptions, and we've seen that with Dean this year. But I thought that Dean was having a very good game, and once he went out, then that's when you seen the Lions take advantage of Zion McCollum, who, he has his moments. But
he looked just way overwhelmed to me. He looked just very overwhelmed. Like sometimes the moments just get too big for him.
He's getting there. He's going to get there eventually.
Right.
He's just not there yet. He's not as good as Jamel Dean. And again, Dean played well. And as soon as he went out with the injury, and who knows what that injury is, hopefully it's not serious going forward. They took advantage of it, and it's disappointing, especially the middle of the field. And I want to go out to Harry here. What did you see in that middle of the field? Because the Lions took it all day long. The Bucs gave it. The Lions kept on exposing it, whether it was Devin White or safety. I didn't hear Devin White's name not one time. Not one time. I believe that he's done with the Bucs. What did you see, especially with the middle of the field there?
If you listen really hard on a cold night, okay, and it's no noise, you can hear a Ford rusting in the distance. Hang on, wait a minute. No, that wasn't that wasn't Devin White's name. What do you want me to tell you? He was nowhere to be found. I mean, it's just, it's not looking good. He's probably played his last down here in Tampa.
I think he should play his last down in Tampa. He's been disappointed.
He clearly lost a lot of motivation to play football here, and it's just very sad. It's like, really, dude? We paid you all this money, and you talk all this, promise that you're going to be this type of impact player, but you don't show it on the field. And especially when the game matters, you're just laying down on the field or getting juked out by a tight end that's a rookie. That's embarrassing.
Yeah,
that's embarrassing.
It is.
I was like, seriously. So also, if we lose Canales, who do you guys think the Bucs may look at maybe as a possible OC replacement if Canales gets
He ain't going anywhere.
I'm not anticipating Canales to go to Carolina. I understand he's getting the opportunity, but I don't see him leaving. And I think that's the positive thing that Bucs fans can take out of this is because you're going to have that consistency with Baker most likely being re-signed. Depending on the contract number, I believe he will be re-signed. You have Canales, you have a second year of that offense, so hopefully you don't have those struggles. And you could really see throughout the year, especially the second half of the year, when they went to that 4-game winning streak and what they did against the Philadelphia Eagles and did today, that Canales was opening up that playbook and the offense was getting better and better. So I expect big things next year. And again, I'm the eternal optimist. I don't know if that's going to happen. You still have some work to do when it comes to the offensive line, KR.
I completely agree. And I also can look at this. If Bowles is going to continue to be the head coach, I really want him to kind of dial it back and call in plays. I think he needs to really give one of these guys a chance to be the DC and let him go off instant, because you can just tell on the field that it's like the game is just always big moments, and it's like he makes those adjustments, and it's like if you see that Gibbs is making these easy open runs, you got to adjust on the fly. You got to kind of find ways to change the matchups, like he did in the Eagles game. He did great preparation and changing up the scheme, but against the Lions, it's like, dude, we played this team already. You should see what you did to not get those points that we didn't get the first game and say, let's try to adapt and fix it this game. Because they're going to probably run the same kind of concept. They were down some players.
And they did.
And they lost their right guard or their left guard in their center reserve. I was like, attack them. And also, too, we do need another running back to help complement with Shaun White. He was great, for the majority of the season, but he definitely needs a complimentary running back. He needs definitely help.
Let me go back out to Harry here, the adjustments thing. Was that because, and you talked about blitzing, not blitzing, Was that just because the Lions have so many weapons, so it's so tough to adjust to them? You have Gibbs, you have Montgomery, you have Amon St. Brown. I hope I said his name right. Josh Reynolds. Amon Ra. Oh, well, you know.
Just call him ramen noodles. You're good.
Well, it was definitely not ramen noodles, and he's definitely not getting paid in ramen noodles. He was fantastic today. Once again, killed the Bucs. The first matchup killed him today. And then the tight end there. Is that because they have so many weapons that it is tough to defend? Did you see that Bucs defense being tired? We talked about Devin White not showing up. I mean, what did you see? KR, thanks a lot for the call, man. I appreciate you, okay?
No problem, guys. You guys have a great one.
Yep.
Go Bucs, guys.
Go Bucs. Absolutely go Bucs. What did you see with that? Making adjustments for Todd Bowles. Is it tough in that situation because the Lions have so many weapons?
Good question, Pete. I listen, that Lions team is not as stacked as what people think. They're a good football team.
Right.
Again, it's a very evenly matched team between Tampa and Detroit. In my personal opinion, and I'm not being biased when I say here, I think Tampa has more weapons on offense than Detroit has.
All right, let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the Evolution with yours truly, along with Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire of this show.
You know who this is.
Who is this?
I'm using my second phone call, fool. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, what's going on, Alex?
No, I wanted to talk to Harry for a minute. Hey, Harry, what's up, buddy?
What's happening? What's going on, buddy?
It was great to meet you today, by the way. You're a good man.
Yes, it's very nice
out.
to meet you guys. Guys, if you're new here, I love these guys. These guys put up with me. I'm the pain. No, but on the road, guys, I love you guys. It's been a great season.
Yes.
Hey, but guys, before I go for the night, I want to talk about a couple more topics before I end tonight on my end. Two things. I have a question and a comment.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to make my comment before my question. Can we admit that none of our draft picks showed up today? Have you guys noticed that?
No, Kalijah Kancey had a pretty decent game.
Yeah, I think their draft picks have shown up all year long. It was phenomenal with Kalijah Kancey, Yaya Diaby. He
got hurt.
He was definitely banged up. Trey Palmer.
He got hurt.
Yeah. The draft picks showed up today, and the future is bright. Did they show up?
They could have won this. Listen, man, they could have won this game.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, let's just not forget it. Let's go back to the 3rd and 17 on the first drive of the first quarter, and he threw that pick. There's a reason for it. You were supposed to run either a draw or a run play or a very short screen and play field position. No sense throwing this ball downfield. If they don't do this, we are now talking about a possible different outcome in this game. It takes the crowd out of the game the whole 9 yards. But good point on that, about the draft picks. That had to make me think about it. But Diaby was injured, and Kalijah Kancey had a decent game, man. Not bad for his first year.
I'm excited about both of those building blocks. I got to tell you, Alex. I mean, Kalijah Kancey is a defensive tackle. I saw blasphemous here. I saw shades of Warren Sapp today. I saw shades of Gerald McCoy. More Sapp than McCoy. And then with Yaya Diaby, look, he's only going to get better. He is a 3rd-round pick, very raw, finally gets the opportunity in the second half of the year to take away reps from a JTS. I believe the future is bright for this team, and those are your building blocks going forward.
Gotcha, but guys like Logan Hall, JTS, guys that I didn't see at all.
Hainsey and Gedeke, and who's the other guy I don't like, Pete?
Gedeke was not good today at all. Aaron Stinney at left guard, he's not the answer.
I said that's where the problems were going to be, was Gedeke and Stinney. Those are the two players.
You're right, and there was pressure in Baker's face, I think, the whole day, the majority of the day, because when there wasn't, you saw him put some passes down the field to Mike Evans. Mike Evans, good game. Godwin got in on the action. Cade Otton got in on the action. But it just seemed like to me, Alex and Harry, that there was more pressure in Baker's face today. And I was kind of surprised by that. But, this Lions defense, Aaron Glenn, they had a game plan. They also brought the blitz. They kind of took, some of the plays out of Todd Bowles' playbook and use it against the Bucs.
But wait a minute. Why aren't we talking about the elephant in the room? And you see, you talked about it for a second. You kind of went over the top of it. They kept bringing the kitchen sink. Again, there's one person to blame here on this, and that is one David Canales. Where was your max protect? Why not even running your 2 tight end sets? Why did you have to run so many empty back sets? How come many 5 wide receiver sets you're going to continue to use on a team that's going to give it up even with 3 wide receivers or even 2 wide receivers?
Yeah.
It's not what you want. You have to go ahead and protect them. You can't block. You had the worst offensive line of all the teams coming in to the playoffs.
Not good.
There was a way to do it. And you know what? They had success running the football. They just had a lack of running the football.
And then I go back to the statistics there for White. 9 attempts for 55 yards, 4 attempts for Chase Edmonds. I feel like they kind of went away from the running game. They had some success, but then you get down to a certain situation where it's 31-17, and you have to somewhat abandon that run game. For me, you got to improve the offensive line. Everybody wants to draft 100%. A quarterback. You got to improve that offensive line. It starts at the left guard spot. It could be the center spot. I don't think you're going to go away from the right guard.
If they had a really strong center, Pete, the 2 guards would be a little bit better. That's their weakest spot at center right now, and it's not even close.
Right.
When you get a really strong center, your guards get a little bit stronger. Let's talk about the other elephant in the room. Let's now look forward to the draft, ladies and gentlemen. What do you do? You're in good shape if you can re-sign your quarterback. But the reality is it's going to cost so much money. You're not going to be able to address that offensive line completely in the draft. You're going to have to lure someone in from the outside and sign all your players. Don't be surprised you got another quarterback under center. But the biggest blessing is if Baker Mayfield, which I don't think is going to happen, he has to give him a hometown discount to be able to stay in Tampa Bay and be able to try to lure one player in free agency and draft the other offensive lineman. Otherwise, they're going to draft both offensive linemen, and now you're going to be playing with a rookie quarterback possibly.
Well, I don't want to play with the rookie quarterback. I think you could definitely get Baker back. I've talked about this.
I'm just saying, if they get Baker back, you can lure one person in free agency. It's going to be a lot more serviceable than what they have up there right now, and draft the other. And I think the team would be in really good place. But let's be real, man. You're talking $40+ million. That's what it's going to cost to get Baker Mayfield in his uniform.
We'll see how that market shakes out. Two interceptions today, not good by Baker, especially that critical one there. And that's where you kind of you get driven crazy by Mayfield because – again,
I mean, it is his fault. Ultimately, he threw the ball. He could have threw the ball over or whatever, but never should have been called. Ever. Did I say enough? Ever? And you should have had max protect. That was a 5 wide receiver set, empty backfield. They knew they were throwing the ball, and Detroit Tampa fell right into it. They seen it coming. They sent 8 people.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. They didn't. They blitzed with 5 is what it was, and they dropped the rest back is what it was.
Yep. And then the last play there, what do you see on that? Alex, we'll get back out to you in a moment. What do you see on that? That's a throw that you can't make because clearly the player has it snuffed out and has the coverage and
trying to make a play, Pete. Yeah. I don't fault him for that. He had to try to make a play. It goes back to what happened last night when one Jordan Love was rolling to his right off his back foot and then thrown across his body. He had other receivers. He could have turned around and started to run the football. I mean, there's shoulda, coulda, woulda. If he completed it, it's a different ball game. I mean, now we're still to continue and to move forward. It's just like the 2-point conversion.
I don't get that. That makes no sense.
But if they convert it on that 2-point conversion, Pete, we're sitting there going, wow, what a ballsy call. You know, he deserves to be coached for the next 100 years of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Instead, we're scratching the back of our head going, what in the hell was he thinking?
Well, why not run the ball? I understand the play in itself because to me, the defender gets away with murder on that because he's not even looking back at the ball. He's face guarding. You've got to call pass interference. If this is the rule
they don't do it,
you
Pete.
Call pass, you got to make the call.
They don't do it.
The other calls.
They don't do it. For some reason, it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. That's why sometimes I am not for instant replay. You know, reviewing plays.
Alex, thanks a
because
lot
if you
for the
don't do
call.
that, hey, Alex, man, thank you.
All right, let me go back out to the phone line. Save your thought there. Keep your thought. You're on the Evolution. What's your name? Where you calling from after the Bucs fall 31-23?
This is damn it, Jim Sutton.
What's going on?
Hey, Jim, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, what's going on,
All
Jim?
right.
I don't know what is going on my phone. It usually has Jim's. The caller ID is off for some reason, so everybody's calling in twice, and I'm like, who is this? And you're calling from Ohio, so I should assume Jim. Damn it, Jim! Thanks a lot for your second call. What do you have to say?
Damn it,
Hey
Jim.
man, I just want to say, man, who you think we're gonna get these people signed next year?
Not all of them.
I mean, who's your first priority? And I'll go out to Bucs fans on this, and let me come out to a widescreen for me. Who's your first priority, Bucs fans? Is it Mike Evans? Is it to get Antoine Winfield Jr. to an extension? Do you franchise him? Do you franchise Baker? Tristan Wirfs? I mean, what do you do? I don't think you can franchise Winfield Jr. I think you probably could franchise Baker, but you got lots of decisions.
What's that going to cost them? $35 million?
$35 million to franchise Baker.
That might be the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, what's your first priority at this point, Jim, to get signed in the offseason?
We need to sign Mike Evans back.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
And then we work on Winfield Jr.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we could try to franchise, if we can franchise Baker Mayfield.
For another year?
And
Okay.
Then we can go from there. I don't know who else. Big name that we need.
Or you sign Baker and franchise Mike.
You could do that. I don't know if I see that because
Mike's pissed off. We need to pay him.
We need to figure it out because he's still playing at the level. Right.
Finally, someone with a brain just admitted it. The
Jim,
man
stand
is
by.
supposed to get paid.
Hold on, caller. Let me finish up with Jim. We'll come back out to you. Jim, go ahead and finish up, my friend.
Yeah, and also, man, I wish we could have won that game, but I think the team played pretty good for the most part. We could have did a couple things here and there.
Yeah.
I don't know. We should have, because that first it was like 4th and 1.
Mm-hmm.
I knew he wasn't gonna go for it, but I would have hoped he would have went for it that 4th and 1. He almost got that first down.
We talked about that.
Back on their own 30.
We talked about this, Jim.
Yeah.
Let me go out to Harry so you can just lose his mind on this because
No, I'm losing my mind. Back on your own 30 that early in the game, I understand it. Believe me, I do. I get it. But if he doesn't make it, you just gave them such a short field and you're guaranteeing them literally 3 points. I had no problem with them doing it. Kick it. My biggest problem was on the first drive. If you've been listening to the show, you'll hear what I'm going to say. When Baker threw that interception and people are blaming Mike Evans for it, no, the play never should have been called. It's 3rd and 17. All you got to do is little screen pass or a run, see what happens, get some yards, and then punt the ball. Punt it. There's no shame in the game, man. Now you're throwing a pick that quick and that. I'm getting ass. I could feel it coming up in my throat.
Oh, don't do that because I had that happen the other night. That's not a pleasant thing. It looks like the Chiefs have scored here. Update on the game. Buffalo 10-3 over the Chiefs in Buffalo as it gets a little.
Yeah, right now Kansas City's driving. It's 3rd and goal from Buffalo's 11-yard line.
All right.
And Mahomes just unleashed it and just overthrew him.
Overthrew him. All right, Jim, what else?
Baker was getting a little crazy out there with his throws. 2 picks today.
Yeah. Again, that last one, that's a hurt. I get it. You're trying to make a play at that point, but it's a typical Baker Mayfield.
Even if he completes it, hold on for a minute. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Even if he completes it and they go down there and they score a touchdown, do you realize they still need a 2-point conversion?
Right.
Whose offensive brain lapse? Who had that fart for them to go for a 2-point conversion on the tying touchdown there was in the beginning? I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't get it. Jim, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jim, man.
Let me go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
This is Johnny Buck calling from South Choppy, Florida.
What's going on, buddy? What do you have to say here about your Bucs?
What's up, Johnny?
To the Detroit Lions, 31-23.
You know what? 100% not disappointed. I mean, if you just look at the struggles we've had through the season, the growth that
There you go.
man, I'm gonna tell you, just to go and beat the Eagles the way that we did, and make it this far, and go out and put the fight that we put up against Detroit. I mean, look, you can't ride the whole thing on Baker throwing an interception at the very end.
Right.
You know, you got to put weight on there. There are several big plays Detroit made that put points on the board for them. These teams need to step up the game a little bit. You know, I mean, and they were killing us. They were killing us in the center of the field.
Yep.
Leaving receivers wide open.
Wide open.
And that was, you know, that was a big part of the game. But I say, hey, you franchise Baker Mayfield, you try and keep as much as what you got now on the team, and you just capitalize on that. If the team's worth growing with.
Are you convinced with Baker Mayfield signing an extension, or do you want to move on from him? What do you want to do?
Oh, absolutely. Re-sign Baker.
Okay.
You know, I mean, if you look at the games, his best games of the season, his cool, his poise in his pocket. You know, when he gets on the run, he makes big plays on the run. I mean, he's a good quarterback.
Made some great throws today. Definitely made some plays on the run today. Absolutely. To Evans later on in the game. Yes.
You know, what kind of options do we have looking for a quarterback next year?
Not a lot. I mean, Kirk Cousins is out there. You know, Jameis Winston is out there. It's not a lot. There are not a lot of quarterback options, and then you can go into the draft and hope that one of these quarterbacks falls to you. I think you go with Baker. I don't know what the length of the contract. I would say 3 years, $75 million, $25 to $30 million. If it's more than that, you know, that's the quarterback market. But, you know, once again, the Bucs are going to be in better situation when it comes to this cap, unlike they were last year. And, of course, the cap goes up every year. So I'll have faith that Jason Light and Mike Greenberg will be able to make the great decisions and proper decisions for this team going forward. But they have a lot of decisions to make, and I think the number one for me at this point and at this juncture is re-signing Mike Evans.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mike Evans is your consistent. He's been consistent for us.
Yeah.
You know, it was a little rough to see him. Had a few off games here. You know, he dropped passes and stuff. But, I mean, he's Mike Evans, man. He came through when we needed him to come through the most. He put the touchdown up, you know, on the board for against Detroit. I mean, overall, you just got to be proud of the game that we played.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, them boys went out there and they Bucs did their thing. Honestly, to me, I feel like probably one of the toughest teams in the NFL to play.
They are, and you got to figure out the safety position because Ryan Neal, once again, he showed up or not showed up. He was terrible. I don't know what he's doing on some plays today. I don't know what he was doing the whole year. Disappointing free agent pickup. I definitely don't see him going back. So maybe that's a move that you make. And you look at the other side of it. You know, Brian Branch out of Alabama. He was big for the Lions today. A safety that they drafted in the first round. You know, 9 tackles. He had a big game. Of course, Hutchinson. You know, 4 tackles along with the sack. Where again, somebody has to ask me and figure this out. How he comes with a free release, how Luke Gedeke misses that. That's a big time miss, and that offensive line today was definitely overwhelmed. Johnny, anything else here on the evolution?
Yeah, I mean, before I go, the only other thing I want to say is, you know, there's one player that I feel like not really talked about enough. He's a rookie. He's up and coming. Is Otten, man. Oh man. The guy, you know, to be a rookie and be so young coming in, he really got a good poise about him. And when you need him, he's a great playmaker.
He's getting better and better.
Yes.
And I just keep on going back to what Anthony Beck said. He just needs the opportunities. He's getting the opportunities. He needs to improve. I think he needs to get a little bit bigger, needs to get a little bit better when it comes to the blocking scheme, but he definitely showed out today. Johnny, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. As always, use that second call here on the Evolution. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers season is over. They lose to the Detroit Lions 31-23 as I'm producing on air. I understand that, so let me go ahead, get your final thoughts, Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire on this Bucs season that unfortunately is over.
Well, my final thoughts are real simple. Pete, you could leave us in a 2-shot.
Yeah, sure. We'll go for the 2-shot here. Here we go.
Listen, it was a great season, Buccaneer fans. You know what? It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of highs. There's a lot of lows, and a lot of people think that I just hate on the team. That's not the truth. I'm just a very objective person. I'm very critical of different teams in the National Football League, especially the ones that I'm giving you guys picks on. This game was very much at hand. You could be very disappointed, but, hang your head up high. A lot of things to do in the offseason. And don't forget, I will be back around maybe next weekend to go ahead and give some picks. Who knows? Sports Web might be coming back even for the playoffs, even if the Buccaneers are out there. Anyway, congratulations, everybody out there. It was a hell of a season. Kind of interested to see what's going to happen in the end of the season. I really like to know what's going to happen in the NFC Championship game because that's going to be really interesting. It ain't. San Francisco's going to win big. Peter, have a good day. And we'll talk to you later, brother.
You're supposed to say go Bucs.
How? All right, go home, Bucs.
All right, so we'll come back here. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 as the place at this point is empty. It was packed up with Bucs fans. You felt good going into halftime. I want to read some of these comments. You felt good midway to the third quarter. You go into the fourth quarter at 17-all, and the Lions go down and get a drive where the defense is not able to make any stops. So we'll have Leo Haggerty on here in just a little bit. I'll give him a call. I want to read these comments. Don't want to neglect you guys, so let's go and do that. Ben says we had our chances. Good teams capitalize on opportunities. Exactly right. You had your opportunities, and you couldn't capitalize on them. And then furthermore, you have too many turnovers in this game, which we talked about was a big-time factor, was a big-time facet, that if you lost the turnover battle, then more than likely you would lose the game, right? You won the turnover battle when you win games. When you don't, you usually lose. I'm going to hold off on the phone calls right now. Let's go out to Justin. Absolutely. Plus defense on all but 3 drives all day. Brought the pressure on the first drive, inside success. Let's just move back to shell. Over zone for 90% of the game. Ridiculous. I didn't understand it. They had some success, but once again, you are what you are. You are who you are. If you're going to blitz, bring the pressure, and they didn't bring enough of it today. We want Trask. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Paul says, who's this fool? Justin. Justin says, let a pro quarterback pick you apart, basic zone all day. Credit to the Lions for taking advantage of the soft defense. They bailed out on the run for all but a few plays of the rest of the game. Paul says, Justin didn't come in and say, you're a Lions fan, be done with it, Paul, again. Instead, you want to troll and pretend why. Michael says, great season, could have played better, but LFG. Let's go! Justin says, 2-point conversion try with less than 5 minutes left. We are really trying to play for field goals with 2 possessions left max. The head rep was so excited for every call against Tampa. A block in the back is a block in the back, regardless of the ball being in the air. An illegal block is an illegal block. Missed chop block on the Lions' first touchdown. Call it later on Gibbs. See, that was my problem. Good comments there, Justin. Agree with you on that. Missed calls all day long. Lack of consistency. Case in point, you've got to make that call. I get it. It's a 2-point conversion. But clearly, look at the replay where the defender is face guarding Evans. He's got his hands on Evans. He's face guarding him. You've got to make a pass interference call to give the Bucs another opportunity for the 2-point conversion. Instead, you let them play on. And then later on in the game, you call Carlton Davis for a legal contact. I mean, it was not consistent. And I text Leo Haggerty, the legend, former Coach Scattered Out media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports. And I said, why don't you make that call? And he said, you just don't. I don't understand it. So let's continue to read. Good stuff, Justin. Lions are loaded on both sides of the ball. We were playing with a lot of young players. Good point, Christopher. Thanks a lot for tuning in all year long. And it's not over with. I'm still going to be here in the offseason. There's still going to be some fun times. We're going to have to get through this together the next couple of weeks and see where the Bucs do, where the Bucs go. Hopefully you don't lose a Dave Canales because you want to have that consistency. I don't think he takes that job with the Carolina Panthers. Maybe he does. Maybe they select him. This offense got better in the second half. You like to keep that consistency. You know what other changes are going to happen? What do you do in the offseason? But you still have the NFC Championship, you still have the AFC Championship, and then before you know it, free agency will be here in March, and you got the draft in April. So Bucs fans, it's not over with yet. We'll still be here to cover it on the evolution of sports talk television. Pig Dog Video 2001. Don't understand the decision to go for 2. That being said, hell of a fun season it was. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff, congratulations. Can you drop the phone line? We did. Thanks a lot for calling in. Earl Harris, the same stuff will be back next season. Same results will happen next season. I know how you feel about this, Earl. It's disappointing to see the conservative play calling with this team playing zone as they have turned back on the music a little bit. I don't know why. Hopefully they keep it off. We'll see. Gary says, how does Baker not see that guy? Todd Bowles, why didn't you blitz? Golf. Everyone knows he can't move and put pressure on him and makes mistakes. He will get pressure next week. I'll tell you that. Absolutely. Justin says, I've been listening to Peter for 5 years. Get off. I appreciate it, Justin. Thank you very much. Dave says, Bucs have nothing to hang their heads low about. Great season. Now it's time to build off this year. Great attitude. I think that's where you go to with it. You look to build off of it. Nothing was to be expected. I get it. It's easy to say that. But if you keep things in perspective, and I'm all about perspective on this show, you weren't expected because you lost Tom Brady, and you've got a new quarterback, and you've got a new offense, and you've got all the cap troubles, and you got a new offense. And national media doesn't think you're good. So there's lots of positives to build off of. I'm the eternal optimist on this show. I believe that. You've got some building blocks here. We talk about Kalijah Kante. I get excited. I get giddy. You've got Yaya Diaby, who had flashes of brilliance this year. What did he lead this team with sacks as a rookie? Can you imagine in his second year how much better he's going to be? Can you imagine how much better Kante's going to be? You have some improvements to make. You have some decisions to make in this offseason with Devin White. Is he going to come back? I wouldn't have him back. I think you got to upgrade at that situation. I think KJ Bright did a good job. I'm not sure if that's your answer. We'll see. Safety position. You have so much money locked up in that cornerback room. They somewhat underperformed this year, although I thought Jamel Dean had a hell of a game until he got hurt. Zion McCollum, maybe he's your eventual starter. I like Carlton Davis. Both of those guys are making lots of money. Is that where you go? You need an upgrade at the safety position. Do you go in that direction? You hope you better go in that direction. That may be a big-time need. I definitely think it's a need. Maybe about it. Ryan Neal, one of the most disappointing players on this team. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. Good stuff. Paul says, I've tried to call Pete. Thank you very much, Paul, for calling in. Kenny says, the real problem all season is our head coach. If he came back for another season, he does not need to be the defensive coordinator. We need to bring in the defensive coordinator. Kenny, that's a point. We've seen the good of Todd Bowles, and we saw today the zone defense come back. We saw this team sit back. You've got to generate the pressure. Another thing that was nullified in this game, where it looks like Shaq Barrett has a sack, you get a penalty called. That's a killer. Those are killer plays. Those are critical plays. And I didn't see it. I didn't see what the penalty was about. It's disappointing. Those things get called. It's nullified because, let's see here. Comes up, It takes the play off the board. Holding, I think it was, on that. Carlton Davis on that. That's what the play was. Disappointing. Takes a big play off the board. Kurt Pinto, thank you very much. Great points, Pete. Appreciate you as always.
Yeah.
Mr. Deputy Pinto right there, tuning in. Is Evans and David back in pewter and red in 2024? It's a great question. I definitely believe that Levante David, there's no believing about it. He was the best linebacker on this team this year. Still at the age of 33, 34 years old. So if David wants to come back, you're going to have to figure out how to bring him back. I bring him back. I can't imagine him in another uniform but pewter and red. And then Mike Evans, I've gone on this and show and said it many times. He definitely needs to be one of their priorities. 49ers are going to rip the Lions. Let's go out to Paul. Bucs played great for all the time. Bucs fans crying the blues. While I understand the Lions are a good team, they are. They're great. They may be a great team with all the weapons they had today. And you look at the final numbers here. Jared Goff, 30 for 43, 287, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 103.5 rating. He was good. He carved the Bucs up, especially down that middle, where the Bucs had no answer. They had no answer all year long when it came down the middle, and the Lions exposed that. That's the reason why your offensive coordinator is most likely going to get a job in the NFL. I don't know about the command of $10 to $15 million, but we'll see. Gibbs was a big-time weapon they were missing in the first matchup. 9 carries for 74 yards. Montgomery, 10 for 33, over 100 yards. You need your defense to get off the field at that point. They're not able to get off the field after the Bucs seem like they have the momentum to tie the game. And then once again, they're not able to get off the field, and it's 31 to 17, and it's academic at that point. Good game, just fell a little short. Absolutely pig dog. K-Dot looks like a future Pro Bowl tight end. Jose says, Tampa Bay. Absolutely appreciate
Flawless
that.
victory.
We'll fire the cannons. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Refs were biased all day. I mean, one penalty until the third quarter called on the Lions. And the Lions fans were saying, you suck, you suck, you suck. Because it with the play there with Baker, it looks like it doesn't look like he's coming out of the pocket. It looks like his knee may be down, and they rule it's not down, that he got rid of the ball in time. And then, of course, the very next play there on third down, they're able to hit White for the touchdown to tie the game up. Hutchinson was being held the whole game, too. He's unguardable. Mike says corner blitzes 3 to 4 times uncontested. Yeah, just more people, bringing more people than you're able to block. I mean, that's scheme. That's not being ready, and that's where you give credit to the Lions and Aaron Glenn, who could be up for a coaching job. People talking about Baker, but it's a team loss. Lots of drop passes and mistakes. Paul, again. Kenny, what? Your ridiculous Bulls may not be my favorite coach for sure, but look at the reality. $80 million in dead money. Win the division with a brand-new quarterback in OC. Just say you're know nothing about football, move on. Ben says, great season for the Bucs. Difference in the game was the Bucs not getting their hands on Goff. He had all day to throw. Trenches were won by the Lions. Also, Winfield was disappointing today, which I didn't expect. Yeah, especially on the Gibbs run there. He misses, which we have not talked about. Winfield Jr. missing tackles and not being able to make plays. He missed on that. Dave, he had all day to throw. Yeah, frustrating. Justin, troll nothing, get off me. Same thing happened in week 6. Early tip pick. Instead, we held Detroit to 3 this time whenever we were in a hurry-up defense, had less success all year. Detroit noticed we were gassed in the 4th and went hurry-up and picked us apart. Good stuff. Justin, Jeff, bad calls went both ways. They took a third down away from Detroit on a BS call. Good run, entertaining, but a few players short. Offensive line is Swiss cheese. Secondary and linebackers needs. I'm not going to change my opinion just because they went to the playoffs. Canales needs to get better. Play calling against better teams. F and Bowles, both as a defensive coordinator, head coach, I would be looking. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Nick. I don't think that Todd Bowles is going anywhere at this point. He's going to be the coach. It certainly seems like. Javon, Bowles should have went for 4th and 1. Steve, well, nice run, plus a play or 2 here and there, and the Lions go home. Go Bucs. Go Bucs, absolutely.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Fire the cannon. Re-sign Mike Evans. Jeremy says Baker, Evans, David, and McLaughlin will return. Go Bucs. Tim, disappointed with today's loss, but overall happy with our season. Go Bucs for life. Jeremy, I'm very proud of how far the Bucs went. They exceeded my expectations. Dave, KC is coming for Mike in the offseason, so Jason better sign him Buck for life. That is my biggest fear. Imagine Patrick Mahomes with a decent wide receiver, but not just a decent wide receiver. A future Hall of Famer of Mike Evans in a Kansas City uniform. I can't imagine it. It's a nightmare. That could be the nightmare that's realized if the Bucs don't re-sign him. We'll see. Defense gives up too much. Offensive line struggle too much to be successful. Next year, more pieces should be together. More money to put them there. Agreed. What do we always say? How do you build a team? It's easy to say, but you've got to do it. If you want to be an upper echelon team like the Detroit Lions, You build on the offensive line, which they did to protect Goff, and you build the defensive line. Same thing with the San Francisco 49ers, an offensive line to protect Brock Purdy and a defensive line to get after the quarterback. We can't say it enough. Bucs need 2 offensive linemen, defensive ends that can rush the quarterback. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Evolution.
How you doing, Peter?
What's going on? What's your name?
Felix.
Oh, what's going on, Felix? How you doing? What do you think about your Bucs today losing?
Listen, I mean, we did very well, but I mean, I don't know what happened with the safety, man. What happened with Devin White? Like, I don't know. Like,
not good. Not good. I didn't hear from him all day long. He didn't make any plays. It seemed like he didn't make any plays all year long.
And then why we went to a 2-point conversion? Like, I don't get that.
Mind numbing.
We had a chance. I understand that. And then, I mean, I don't know. It's just a little bit frustrating. I mean, I'm really happy with the season. I'm really, really happy with Baker. Like, nobody thought that we were gonna get so far. I mean, that's really obvious. The whole nation was against us.
Right.
You know, but we had a big chance today, and I don't know. Like, defense was kind of odd today. It was weird. I don't know. What's your thought on defense, Peter, today?
It wasn't like I thought it was going to be. I didn't think they after Goff enough. He had too much time. And we talked about it from the first matchup in October, how when he had the time, when he had more than 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, he would pick you apart. And he did that today, especially down the middle with the tight end, which continues to be a problem for this team.
It was all through the middle with the tight end.
Yep.
All day.
Yep.
I mean, if you are a defensive coordinator, why can't you adjust? I mean, it was just weird. Like,
Yep.
It's frustrating, man.
And even then, your defense gets that stop. But I go back to it, right, Felix? I mean, you're feeling good about it. You tie the game up at 17. And then the Lions come out and they say, you know what? We're going to punch you in the mouth. We're going to answer 5 plays, 75 yards before you can sit down and eat a chicken wing. I mean, that's inexcusable. Your defense has got to get off the field, and they're not able to do anything at all.
It was a killer.
Yep.
For real. Like, it's heartbreaking, you know.
It is. But I know, Felix, you'll get over it because you've been a Bucs fan for a long time. What else did you? I know. I can hear it in your voice. I feel the same way. But
on the other end, I'm really happy what Baker Mayfield brought to our team this year.
Right.
I'm really proud, and I think Baker has found his team, and I think we have a good future coming up. I think we're gonna be really great next year. We really at the far on the season. We really have found each other, and I think we're gonna have a great year next year.
Yeah. And I like the way you think, my friend. You're exactly right. There's a lot of great things to take out of this season in itself. It's disappointing because it's over, because the emotions were just crazy here. People were cheering. Just an amazing atmosphere. It was an amazing run, but it came up short. Anything else here, Felix?
No, I'm just saying. I gotta say, it was a tough atmosphere too. Like, playing at Detroit.
Sure, it's tough. I mean, listen, Felix. That's the reason why you win your games during the regular season. You win 12, and congratulations to the Lions. Right?
And
Dan Campbell, because he had his team ready to go. They believed in it. Yes.
Absolutely. I'm a hardcore Buccaneers fan, but I got to give it to Detroit. Like, the fans out there, it was so energetic. I mean, I have to give it to them. They just made history today. I have to give it to them.
Yep, you do. All right. What else here, my friend?
That's it, Peter. Hey, your program, I love it. Good luck.
Hey, Felix. Don't be a stranger. Use that second call if you want to. Bucs fans, diehard Bucs fans, you just hang in there. The season isn't over. The regular season isn't over. We're about to go into the offseason here. with free agency and the draft. Thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. Use
All
that
right,
second
man.
call. All right.
I love your work, man. Good
Hey,
job.
Felix, I love the fact that you love my work, man. That's the reason why we do it in the first place. I love to hear that. I can't tell you, and it's cold as hell out here, right? Like, I'm a Floridian. I should have brought my coat. I didn't bring it. The wind is kind of, in the back here, so I'm kind of freezing. I always say, Floridians are like Chihuahuas. We don't have the fur to deal with the coldness. It's kind of cold out here, but it warms my heart. You see where I was going with that? It warms my heart to hear from fans tell me they love the work, that they love what we do here on the Evolution, and this is why we do it. We do it for you Bucs fans. We do it for you diehards out there, commercial free. We give you the fans in the background, even though it's loud as hell. We give you that. We give you the opportunity to text and comment and call in and say what you want to say, even when your Bucs win, lose, whatever happens, we're here for you. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So I love that. I love the fact that you love what we do. This is the reason why we do it. Do it for fans like yourself. I love the fact that we have people that come on this show and said they were inspired by the Evolution. That's awesome. That's awesome. Awesome. That's all I can say. All right, let's go out to TikTok here as we're live on there. AKA Logan says, Bucs, what happened? Yeah, it wasn't a good day for the Bucs. Fire Zion McCollum. That was, again, flashes of brilliance. He's a young player. A little bit rough today. Amanda Gonzalez, one of my favorite people. Hey, Peter, love your face. So sorry about today's loss. Absolutely. Amanda shared it. Appreciate that. And also gave some bears, chili, and roses. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. Let me give you the air horn. Awesome. As we're live here from Riverters, just a bonkers crowd, if you will. Just all kinds of Bucs fans today. It was fun times. Definitely check out the replay of the pre-show, especially the halftime shows. Harry's like, we got to go live a minute in, and we're watching that drive. We had no idea the Bucs were going to score, and bing, bang, with Evans with 27 and 29. Put yourself in position, of course, K-Dot, and you're feeling good about it. But besides that, and then you tie the game up. Lions pretty much dominated this game. Bucs still had a chance to win, but overall, the Lions are a better team. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to the Lions and Eminem and all of Detroit, because you guys deserved it. And we'll see what you do against the San Francisco 49ers next Sunday. The Bucs definitely need to address the offensive line, Paul, absolutely. No quarterback in the draft. Ron, the Marine defense was disappointing as a whole second half. Mike says, Devin White, goodbye. Dave, Levante David needs a 2-year contract. He was balling again today. He also needs to retire a Buck. Let the truth set you free. Completely agree with that. Levante David, he's still your best linebacker on this team. He definitely needs a contract extension. All right, let's go out to Alex. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to the Evolution.
3 call-ins in one show. This is awesome.
Yeah, I allowed you to have 3 calls because why not? Why not? I'm a giving person.
I love you guys. You guys
love
are
you
the
too,
best.
brother. Love you too, brother. Go ahead.
Hey, but listen, all the way around. Let's talk about just real quick before you get out of here for the night. I don't know how much longer you got, but let's talk real quick about some free agents and what we have to look for next year.
Sure.
The list is big. The list is big, but I want to name 4. Give me 1 second. I got this written down for you because this is what I do. It's what I do.
Okay.
All right. There are 4 top free agents that you have to bring back, and it's not even a question asked. These 4 free agents show up every year. You got to sign up. Oh, well, 3 show up every year. 1's new. Got to re-sign Baker Mayfield. It's not a question asked. You do not want to start with another quarterback. You have someone who loves Tampa Bay. He put his heart into Tampa Bay this year. You saw him. He supports other teams. He does great on the field. He's a great guy in the locker room. You have to be overall impressed of what you saw out of Baker Mayfield his first year in the Buccaneers locker room and on the team.
Yeah.
I am absolutely impressed of what he has done. Got to remember that the Bucs don't forget that we started this season already with Ryan Jensen starting the season, I believe it was this season that wasn't he already hurt during training camp and called it a dead?
Yeah, that's a major loss for this team, and they definitely have not been able to recover from it. Hansy's he's okay. He's not great. You definitely need to improve there. You need to improve the left guard situation. Aaron Stinney got beat up this year, and Luke Gedeke, not a great game. Good season. He had his moments. You can look to improve both of those situations, and that's the majority of your line. So you definitely got to retool the line. Safety position, linebacking situation, definitely can go, and maybe possibly cornerback, depending on what the Bucs want to do in the future when it comes to Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis.
But if I'm going back to my original conversation, you got to lock in Baker Mayfield. I give him a 3-year. I want to predict, if I had to predict the dollar amount, I'm going to say $20 to $25 million.
Yeah.
I'm going to say on the higher end of that, just because I know what he's worth. People are laughing at me, thinking that's a joke. But let's be real. That's really a discount. I mean, if you look at what most quarterbacks are making based off what he did this year, I think that's a pretty good bargain. Now, will he take maybe a whole discount and take a little less like you were talking about earlier this evening? Maybe. Maybe he'll stick around that $20 million range.
Right.
But I think he's worth every bit of it. Going back to our other free agents, we all know we got to sign Mike Evans. It's not even a question. It's not even a question.
Yeah.
Got to sign Mike Evans. We all know that he puts up 1,000+ yards, a great guy in the locker room. And, of course, this community, everybody loves Mike Evans and what he does year in and year out. Another guy is you have to sign Lavonte David. Lavonte David is a guy that I love.
Right.
I love what he does on the field, on the defensive side of the ball. He's always been another guy in Tampa Bay, loves Tampa Bay. And you don't want to let a guy named Lavonte David walk out. And last but not least, another big free agent going into the offseason is Winfield Jr. Do not let this man walk out. I don't know what he'll be asking this offseason. I'm not really into terms on what he's worth. I'm not sure what he made this season, but I'm asking you a question here. This year, we ate up a lot of cap space, and it's a lot of what people don't understand. We had a lot of cap space, and to go this far, just thinking about that last offseason, we didn't even know what quarterback was going to be this offseason. I remember this time last year, we were talking about who's our quarterback. Is it going to be Lamar Jackson? Is it going to be Derek Carr? We were talking about quarterbacks for the first month and a half of the offseason. Here we are with a guy named Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
Look, he performed better than most of those quarterbacks did.
Yep.
Look at Derek Carr and what he did with the Saints. Not the best. I'm happy with what he pulled out this season. Is it the best? No. At the top tier? No. You're not going to go from a guy like the GOAT and expect to get the GOAT. Honestly, he did better than Tom Brady did last year, in my opinion.
He did. You look at the numbers, 28-10,
Worth
and
the
the way he performed in the playoffs. Although you had the 2 interceptions today, but you look at the final numbers for him today: 26 for 41, 349, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. 41 times there. That's not always the recipe for success when it comes to this team and Baker Mayfield. I think you got to have more of a running game. And you know, what comes first? Is it the chicken or the egg? Where you have to improve that offensive line? That's where you have to improve the offensive line, and I think that's where you get your running game getting better. White this year had a good year, could have had a great year. He definitely showed flashes of brilliance, especially when it comes to being a pass catcher. Overall, I think that's your future. You just have to improve this offensive line, the linebackers, the safety. They have some work to do in the offseason. I believe they will get it done. Alex, anything else?
Yes, I have 2 more things. I promise I'm going to let you go for the night.
Yes.
Question about this defense tonight, and I paid very good attention to it. And I know for a fact I didn't ask you this question earlier. Why was Tryon Sholenko, how do you pronounce his last name?
Yes.
Playing in the secondary today. Did you guys notice that?
Well, they did a little bit of that where they drop back defensive linemen. They've done that. They did that in the Philly game. They did it with Yaya Diaby. Joe Tryon is a rotational player at this point. They're going to have to look to improve that situation. Shaq Barrett wasn't necessarily his best. Has age caught up with him. We'll see if they address that in the draft. So that would be another position. So once again, you're exactly right. And you've got to get more production out of those players because you saw today when a quarterback is able to have that time to throw the ball all over the yard, he's going to kill you, and he did. Alex, thanks a lot. Alex, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you as always. Expecting Mr. Leo Haggerty to call in here. In fact, let's go ahead and give the legend himself a call. We'll go ahead and get his intro on if we can get him on the line here. Get his thoughts. The legend always has something to say, so we'll see if he wants to say it, and then we'll read the rest of these comments. And then I will get out of here, and I will try to go bundle up for the night because I had no idea it was going to be this cold out. Somebody bring me a blanket. It's pretty cold out. So I'm not gonna lie. The wind is kicking up here, so we'll see. This is probably not a good idea to do this next time. I won't do this next time. Please leave your. He's not answering. So there you go. So we'll go back and read the comments. We'll take your phone calls here as the Bucs get the cold shoulder, if you will. They lose to the Lions 31-23. We're live here from Riverters. Good stuff, Dave. Christopher Cole. Palmer was running wide open, but our interior line didn't hold up. That's what it comes down to. You miss those plays. You have those shots. We saw the first matchup where Palmer, he hasn't beat. Baker doesn't complete the pass, and then he's open this time, but you're not able to get the necessary time for him to complete the pass. It's disappointing. It is. That's why football is sometimes a very frustrating game, and I know there's a lot of Bucs fans out there that are frustrated, want to call in. You should. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Game On. Canales didn't adjust to the pressure. Give Baker Mayfield a chance to throw the ball and take advantage of the bad secondary. I could definitely agree with that. I could also say the offensive line didn't help out because the pressure got to Baker numerous times today. The most positive points is Michael Holk, who, by the way, is giving stars on the show. Facebook stars are open. If you love the content, give to it. YouTube chats. I'm freezing my ass off over here, so give me some love live here from Riverters. Appreciate it. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter, giving you something to think about after the Bucs lose to the Lions 31-23. The most positive point is the offseasons, a lot of these negatives can be fixed. Make great draft picks. Replace Devin White. Baker's not going anywhere. You need to sign Evans. He's the leader of this team. Great season. Go Bucs. Great stuff as always. Yeah. Michael. I love that. I completely love that outlook, and you're exactly right. That's exactly what you need to do. You need to build around a Baker Mayfield, re-sign him to a contract. We'll see what the numbers are for all you capologists out there. By the way, it's not my money. I don't know. I'd like to see a $30 to $35 million deal, but the market may say 40. He may get more money from somewhere else. I will sit here and contend that Baker Mayfield would not leave the Bucs simply because of what has hindered his career as a young quarterback with the consistency of the offense. I believe he's dissatisfied with that. Let's go out to Cole here, my CSB brother. Cole,
what's going on, bro?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Despite the actual ending of this season, it's been a good year.
Yes.
And I have to say, I don't know if you got to the comment or anything, but you can skip it when you get there because I'm going to tell you, you're a fantastic host of a show, dude.
Thank you.
You've done a fantastic job with the Sports Web because I remember back in the Spider days and all this, and you've vastly improved and you've made it into a commodity, and it's fantastic what you've done. I'm so proud of you, and so proud of that we come from the same school and all that stuff. And I just want to tell you, you've done an awesome job.
Thank you.
The show is fantastic.
Thank you.
The co-host could use a little work, but that's neither here nor there. Everybody could use a little work.
I love the co-host here in the green because he keeps me on my toes. He keeps everybody else on their toes, but you're exactly right. It's been a long time, my friend, from those starts on YouTube. Cole,
yes.
Stand by for a minute. Hold on. Legend Leo, let me come out to you in a moment. We're going to finish up with Cole, so stay on the line, my friend, okay?
You got
All right, good stuff there. So we got Leo on the line. Let's go out to my CSB brother, Cole. Your check is in the mail. Your thoughts today on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing to the Lions 31-23.
I think there's 7 points on the board.
Yeah.
There's 7 points on the board. If you block the number 2 pick, Hutchinson, and don't let him get a sack to take us out of field goal range, that's 3 points. You doink the 1 field goal, that's another 3 points. And if you have those 6 points, you kick the extra point, that's 7. Right there. And then you're driving with 2 minutes to go to get a field goal and not get 8 points. And the reason why they went for 2 is because the analytics say it's better to go for 2, and if you get it, you're going to win the game on the next drive and not tie it. And then if you lose it, you can also go to tie on the second on the second 2-point conversion because you're only 8 down. That's crap, because I think it's a better percentage to kick the field goal, even because you got to look at who your field goal kicker is. If it's anyone other than the guys we've had in the last 4 years, I say, yeah, go for 2, no big deal. But if it's the guys we've had this year, this guy McLaughlin is awesome. He's amazing.
Yeah.
This is his first missed field goal of the entire year that got up off the ground.
Yeah. And that's a disappointing thing, and that comes back to haunt you because that's points off the board. I get it, he hits the upright, but overall this year you would have to say McLaughlin has been money.
Yeah, he has. And the one thing that I would say to go after in the draft, everybody talking about edge rusher, talking about cornerback, talking about line. No, I want a center. Go after the best center in college football and put him in starting at week 1, and you keep the center we've got. You just put him in the fifth offensive lineman spot because he can sub at center, he can sub at guard, and he can sub at tackle if need be. So I think he's a great 5th lineman, but a horrible starter. And I think we really miss our center that we've had in the Brady Brady years. So I think that's the number one thing, because you're going to end up, on the 26th pick or 27th pick or somewhere around there. And I think you go after that guy. If you have to move up to get him, you go after him.
Yep. No, and it's certainly possible. I don't think it's the year to draft a center, but you could maybe get one in the 2nd or 3rd round, or you could look in free agency. I'll go back to this, and then we'll let you use your second call because I got to get out to the legend.
Yeah, go ahead.
Leo. But how much
Leo
of a loss?
goes first.
Yeah, how much was a loss of Brian Jensen? I mean, that's a major loss to this offensive line, and it's hurt this line. And I give credit to Hansy. He's done a fair job, but just not good enough. And you're exactly right. If you have a better interior line overall, and you kind of
Hansy's a great offensive lineman, but he's a 5th offensive lineman. He's a guy that he's a swing center guard. He's not a starter in this league, and that's it. That's all I'll tell you, and I'll come back with the second phone call. Leo's awesome.
I
Leo's
appreciate
fantastic.
you. You're awesome, Cole. CSB, brother, thanks a lot for the call and the love as always. Let's go out to this guy right here. Let's get his intro on. Here we go. Former Coach Scott and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports. The wind is starting to kick up out here, Leo. This was probably a bad idea not to bring my coat. Leo Haggerty, welcome to the Sports Web after the Bucs lose to the Lions 31-23. Your thoughts?
Why'd they go for 2, Peter?
Tell me. I have no idea why you do that in that situation. People will say, well, they were trying to be aggressive. It's not the right time, Leo. You just kicked the extra point. It's neither here nor there, but you're exactly right. Baker throws the interception in the game. I just don't get the call. And furthermore, I don't get where refs, and you've got to make that call if the rule is stated that when the defender is face guarding and then furthermore putting his hands on the wide receiver as if they were dating on their first date, you have to make the call for pass interference. And for some reason, the refs decide to swallow their whistle. Make some sense of that.
Well, Peter, the problem is that you could probably call pass interference 3 times on that one play.
Yeah.
The problem was it could be 2 on defense and 1 on offense.
Yeah.
Because Evans always gets away with the extension, which is fine, but it was a terrible call on the 2-yard line.
Yeah.
Terrible call. Kick the point. get the point, because you want to get this puppy to overtime. Right now, you're going to have to get a 2-point conversion just to get it to overtime, and that was not good. And you know what, Peter? The game played out exactly like I told you it would.
Well, it did. It did, and I think there were a lot of fans out there that were disappointed that Todd Bowles wouldn't blitz more. And you always talk about it. When a quarterback can throw where he wants to, how he wants to, he will do that, especially when you give Jared Goff. And give credit to Jared Goff, because at halftime he had 99 yards. He finished up with, let's see here, how many yards did he finish up? 287, 30 for 43, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So talk about the defensive scheme, because I don't think you saw enough blitzing, and I don't know why you didn't see enough blitzing. Furthermore, when they were rushing forward, they didn't get there enough.
Well, here's the bottom line, Peter. When you lost 2 defensive players there in the third quarter, and now you're playing with backups, that takes away a lot of your blitzing.
Right.
That takes away a lot of your schemes, because now you're playing with guys who haven't been running those schemes at practice. And you notice they went after 27 as soon as he came in the game.
Correct. And that's what you're supposed to do as an offensive coordinator. That's why Johnson is going to command at least $10 or $15 million as a head coach, because that's exactly what you do. And that's what the Bucs at some points this year haven't done. They haven't taken advantage of it. But when you have a backup in, you go after them, and that's what the Lions did, and they did it well.
Yeah, and Peter, I hate to pat myself on the back, but this game played out exactly how the first game played out. The Lions just wore the Bucs out in the trenches.
Yeah.
And again, when Dan Campbell got this job, everybody laughed at him and said, it's Dan Campbell, what the heck? Well, guess what? What Dan Campbell did is he just became the toughest team in the league on both sides of the football in the trenches, because he said, we got to get tough.
Yeah.
And it took him a couple of years to weed out the guys that didn't want to buy in. But I'll tell you what now, man, oh man, you could see that Bucs defense was spent in the fourth quarter.
And I think it goes back. And we got Leo Haggerty on here, former coach, scout, and now media member of Night Sports Productions. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, here live from Riverters, as we had lots of Bucs fans. You got to get out here sometime, maybe next year. The crowd was amazing. Just go back and look at the pregame show, and especially the halftime. But you're exactly right, and this was kind of noticeable when the Bucs tied up with a exceptional call by Canales there, reading the defense, going all out on the blitz. You go with Baker Mayfield going with the screen pass to White. You get a touchdown. You start to feel good about yourself. And then the Lions go down, 5 plays, 75 yards, boom, bang, boom, touchdown. And you're down 24-17, and it seemed like the defense at that point was gassed. What do you say?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And again, it reminded me of a boxing match. The Lions just gave you body blow after body blow.
Yeah.
Trenches until you just said no mas.
Yeah.
And there was nothing else the Bucs could do. They were out of bodies. They were getting people carted off. And that's the problem you're having now. You're trying to play with backups on your 19th game of the season. Mm-hmm. And again, that's a tough road to hoe. And kudos to the Bucs for a team that everybody, Peter, but you and I said was a 4-win team. We said they're going to win 8 or 9.
Yep.
That's exactly. In fact, you even said 10, I think, which they got
7.
to 10.
Yeah, well, they were lucky. They almost got to 10. They almost got 10 to the regular season there. They had some losses to Houston and Atlanta. They could have won those games, which would have made a difference. But you're exactly right. You get to 9. It's an improvement over last year, and then eventually you win your 10th game versus the Eagles in dominating fashion. And at points today, they had a chance to win. Let's go back to the first half. What did you see on that last drive? And why does it seem to take this team so long? Do you think that's something they improve on next year with the slow starts once again plaguing them?
Well, Peter, as people need to realize, you had a brand new offensive coordinator. You had a brand new quarterback. It takes a while. Everybody says, well, God dang it, he's been playing 19 games. Well, guess what? That's still not enough.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a while to get used to everything.
Yeah.
And now they got the big thing is not whether the Bucs want to bring Baker Mayfield back. Does Baker Mayfield want to come back to the Bucs? because there's going to be some teams interested in him right now.
Well,
that's for sure.
And then I'll say this, Leo. I think the advantage that the Bucs have is because finally Baker has found a home. This organization has allowed Baker to be the way he wants to be. Furthermore, you have that consistency. That is what has plagued Baker in his success, in my opinion, when it comes to quarterback development. You have Dave Canales. You would assume that Canales is going to come back and Todd Bowles would come back. So why not be a part of this organization? Now, it comes down to what the number is. Is it 30, 35 million, which I think is fair. You look at his overall numbers today, 26 or 41, 349, 3 touchdowns, but 2 critical interceptions. Take me back to the first half one. Harry contends that it's the fault of the offensive play caller because you're 3rd and 17, and you should be dumping it down instead of trying to go for it. And then the last one there, which is an ill-advised throw by Baker trying to make a play, but you got to live to fight another day. Take me back to those 2 interceptions. Kind of break that down for me a little bit.
Well, you know what, Peter? What people got to realize is that those guys in the other color jersey, they're getting paid too.
Right.
And it was a great play by both of them. The second one was phenomenal. It was the guy's first interception in the NFL. He makes a great play. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's there. He's got to make a diving interception, and he made it. You know, sometimes, you know, people make plays. And again, the Bucs were in a position where they had to move the football. Yeah. And that was the problem. They only had 1 timeout left. And now, if they'd have caught that, they'd have had to kill the clock, everything like that. But, yeah, you know, the interceptions, fumbles is part of the football game. And you know what? Sometimes you try to force it. I think he didn't. I don't know if he tried to force it, but he tried to make something happen that may not have been.
What do you see for the first interception? Is that Evans' fault? I mean, whose fault is that? Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who's ran his mouth all week long saying that if the Bucs had a better quarterback, they have a good unit, but if they had a better quarterback, they'd be doing better. Of course, he's the guy on the spot with the interception. So what do you see on the first one?
Well, I see a guy making a great play. Mm-hmm. It's just that when I look at Evans, if he's not in a position, he's not the best receiver at protecting his quarterback. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes you got to be a defensive back. Just say, hey, look, I'm not going to catch it. I'm going to knock this down so no one else catches it. And again, I don't know if Mike made that effort, but again, effort's the wrong word. Because it was a poorly called play,
right?
And it was almost like a desperation play, and that's not good.
No, it's definitely not good. We're on with the legend himself, Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member, 9 Sports Productions, Amped Up Sports. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about after the Bucs fall to the Lions, 31-23, ending their season. With that being said, who's the first priority in the season, in the offseason? Is it a Mike Evans, in your opinion? I mean, the game today, the guy just balls out. People said, you know, he's lost a step. I don't see it. Still playing at a high level. If you're Jason Light, is he your first priority? Antoine Winfield Jr., Baker Mayfield, Levante David. Many decisions need to be made by this administration. Who's your first priority in the offseason right now on January 21st?
It's a quarterback league, Peter. You got to take care of your quarterback, figure out if he's your man or not.
Okay.
And then you go from there. And then it's got to be Mike Evans. And Evans' touchdown is a perfect example. You know, everybody said, well, he's lost a step in that. Guess what? When you're 6'5" and you turn around, you're separated. And I thought it was a great line by the media people in the Bucs said, hey, look, it was basically a basketball play, and when he boxes you out, that corner is not going to get over the top, and that's what happened.
Right. You always talk about it. You can't teach size and speed, and, you know, he's always had that body control, and he's always had that mismatch nightmare, and it's just you go back to it. The offensive line gives Baker enough time. He steps into it, and boom, it's right there for Mike Evans. It's just beautifully executed on all sides of the ball. So what else do you have to say about this Bucs team and just kind of summing it up here after they do fall to the Lions? And then also, do you think the Lions have an opportunity here to beat the 49ers? Because the 49ers were very lucky, I would say. They played one of their worst games of the year versus a Packer team that nearly beat them. They come out with the win, a fourth quarter drive by Brock Purdy. Is it the 49ers, in your opinion, that win this game, or do you believe in this Lions team? Are they the Cinderella story?
You know what, Peter? I just think that San Francisco playing at home, and again, that game was in a monsoon yesterday.
Yes.
So you can't really determine what was going on there. But I'll tell you what, the team I don't want to play right now is the Detroit Lions, because all of a sudden they're starting to believe.
Yeah.
And again, they got to go to San Francisco. San Francisco, I'm not a big fan of Shanahan. His clock management yesterday was phenomenally stupid.
Yeah, terrible.
And just, yeah. And I just, when you look at what's going on in the NFL right now, let's see what comes out of the AFC. If it's Buffalo, I think it's Buffalo and San Francisco in the Super Bowl.
That's my thought. I think it could be. I think it definitely could be Buffalo and San Francisco. A lot of people say this Ravens team with Lamar Jackson. Listen, I'm not surprised by it, because I talked about Jackson ad nauseum, not only being a former MVP quarterback, but a quarterback that you've got an offensive system around him, and a Todd Monken, which it looks like we got a barn burner here with the Chiefs scoring a touchdown. So it looks like they've taken the lead. It doesn't look like it. I'm just watching it right now. 19-17 extra point there. It'll be 20-17. So this could be a classic game. But you talk about Jackson finally getting the weapons there. Zay Flowers, how is he the fourth wide receiver off the board? I mean, he's been so productive for that team. And Jackson, we already know about his athletic gifts, but when you give him the weapons and put him in a new offense, he's a quarterback that I thought could be the MVP and most likely will be the MVP this year. Talk about the Ravens a little bit.
Well, that's who I voted for MVP with Pro Football Writers Association. I mean, Lamar Jackson, because one, he was able to play every game. He was healthy. And the second thing is, man, that defense down in Baltimore, you're not going to get to 21, 24 points. Yeah. They're just not going to let you have it.
Yeah.
And, you got to stop Lamar Jackson from getting to 20. That's a hard thing to do. Definitely a hard thing to do.
Todd Bowles back, in your opinion. You've been a coach before in this league. Does he get over some of these things that Bucs fans once again lose their mind over when it comes to clock management and being more aggressive? Do you expect him to get over that? Does he come back, in your opinion? Has he earned a contract extension, or has he earned another year for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team?
Peter, 2 words: cha-ching, cha-ching. The ownership got money.
Yeah.
And a home playoff game, that was probably, $60 to $100 million.
Yeah. That
home playoff game. So you know what? As long as you're giving that owner money, that's fine. He deserves another year. Absolutely. This you throw him under the bus, that's the wrong message you're sending. Stay with him. Hopefully Canales stays with the club too, and that's what you're looking at. But yeah, Todd Bowles deserves another year.
All right, Leo Haggerty, thanks a lot for the time here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. We'll see you on Wednesday night, my friend, all right?
All right, buddy. I'm looking forward to it. Take care.
Yep, take care. I'm going to try to warm up here. I wish I had a heater at this point, or a coat or something. We'll read the rest of these comments, and then I'm going to get out of here for the night because I'm freezing once again my ass off. Open phone lines if you want to call up. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Jeff. Just no tough defense today was our downfall. Go Bucs. Great listening to you, Peter H., Blake, and Harry. Appreciate you, Jeff, as always. Thank you. Let's go out to Mike. We stop Detroit. Go ahead and score. We go to play San Francisco. Exactly. You stop that. You make the critical stop, but you weren't able to do it. You weren't able to make that stop. You weren't able to get off the field, especially on third down. I go back to it. When it's plagued this defense all year long, has been what, Bucs fans? Third down defense, 3rd and 15. You cannot give up 16 yards on the third down if you call yourself a top defense. You just can't. You cannot continue to allow Jared Goff to hang out in the pocket for 3 to 5 seconds and throw the ball anywhere he wants to and have a picnic and have a lunch. You can't afford to do that. And they did that too many times today. And I definitely think those were the big factors for this Bucs loss to the Lions 31-23. Carl says, let's fix this O-line in the offseason. we'll have a real running game next season. Just imagine how much better this offense could be. Exactly, Carl. Exactly. Great comment as always. Woo! Thanks a lot for tuning in. Appreciate it. Let's go out to Tommy Camp here, big-time Falcons fan, but also watching my show. I appreciate that, Tommy. There were journalists saying the Bucs wouldn't win 4 games this season. Look, lock up Evans, shore up the D, and they'll be right back in it next season. Might even compete with the Falcons. We shall see who the next coach is. Tommy, could be the greatest coach of all time, and Bill Belichick or Jim Harbaugh. What do you think? Call up on the phone lines if you have something to say about that. Everyone, Shadow is here. Couldn't hear my call. Couldn't hear you either. Daniel says the difference between both offensive lines, Baker had no time. Golf had time for coffee behind his. Our D-line put 0 pressure on him, and right now, speaking of coffee, I wish I had some coffee or some hot chocolate. So anybody wants to bring me some here, I'm live at Riverters. I'll buy Devin White a bus ticket out of town. He's still living off a 2020 buy. Michael says, I'm wondering where all the Trask fans are. Been quiet for a long time. Yes, it's been crickets out there. There we go, as we're over to our post-game show here after your Bucs fall to the Lions 31-23. It's a good point. Michael says, shake and bake for me. Dave says, let's face it, the Lions are where the Bucs were. They have good players but need the coach and the quarterback. It's coming together for them. Great point, Dave. Game on. The running game and passing game was there for the taking. Canales refused to use max protection on 2 tight end formations. It's exactly what Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, mentioned several times, and the Lions took advantage of it. When they were running 4 or 5 wide receivers, they brought more men than the Bucs could block. Simple football. It happens. Scheme was better. Coaching was better at that point. The Bucs didn't make the necessary adjustments. Commentators brought up Devin White. Did say he was not a contributing factor for the team all year long. He wasn't. Dave, can we just cut JTS? We'll see. Winfield and Wirfs. Chris Collinsworth said he understood the 2-point play, which proves to me he's dumb. I don't understand it. What do you gain? Somebody has to tell me what you gain by going for the 2-point conversion at that point. Just kick the extra point. Analysis by paralysis. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Somebody has to explain that to me. Keep them. Get a center and a guard. Thank you. Appreciate you. 007 Ness. For tuning in. It was a hell of a game. It was a hell of a season. Now I'm just worried about who we can re-sign, and that's the fun, and we'll have all that live on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Draft a safety and a DE. Definitely a possibility. Dave, why is no one talking about Levante? He needs to get signed back as well. Lots of decisions to make. What is the future of Dean and Davis? Good question. I don't know what the future of those players are, but I will say this. Possibly one or both of those players could be cut or restructured, and you go in a different direction, because I thought for the most of the year that Dean was disappointing. But with that being said, he did have a hell of a game. So we'll see if they decide to bring him back. Reginald, thanks a lot for the comment there. Appreciate you. Yeah. As I'm hoping I don't freeze. When we don't run the ball, well, I want to see more rollouts. Yes, Zach says Bulls needs to go. Pedro says, great season, Buccaneers. Going back to Zach, I don't think Bulls is going anywhere besides in the coach's chair at the beginning of next year. The blocking schemes were not very good. Blocking overall was not very good. Mitch Trubisky is available. That was funny. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll pass on Mitch. Mitch has seen his best days. He's the backup in this league. On the Lions' first touchdown, Vea was mugged. Marty says, Carlton Davis, illegal use of the hands to the face. Yes, that's exactly what I was talking about. Listen, if you're not going to call interference on the Mike Evans 2-point play, which is asinine in itself to go for, then don't call that. Cole, CSB brother, using your second call. Go ahead. Welcome to the Evolution.
Thank you, Peter. Listen, I just want to say Canales is way better than I thought he would be. I have been a huge basher of Canales. He's had his V card. He can't do anything. He can't call a junior high team and all this. And lo and behold, he's taking interviews for OC jobs or coaching jobs at Carolina and whatnot. He's great. He's fantastic. And I just wanted to say I'd like to eat some crow on that one. I was wrong, completely wrong. And Levante David, here's a bus ticket. Don't let the door hit you, or the good Lord split you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think he already took a bus ticket out, but he's been out for lunch for the half of the year. From the majority of the year, he's been out for lunch. It
reminds me of the defensive coordinator when he took the Tennessee defensive coordinator with his son.
Yep.
With the minute he had made that decision, he had checked out of. He was still here, but he had checked out of his job. He was on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And I think Levante David is on to the next thing, but I think he's going to have a rude awakening because he's not getting Roquan Smith kind of money. He's not getting that. He's not going to get that from – I don't care if he's a number 5 pick, number 1 pick. I don't care what draft capital he has. He's not going to get that kind of money. He's not that player.
Well, I tell you right now, I definitely think that Devin White, not Levante David, I think that's who you were talking about.
Yeah, I'm saying Devin White. Yes, yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, no, I definitely think you're exactly right about that, especially with the price tag that he's asking for. You turn on the tape, he doesn't even look like a player that's making $11 million. So I don't know if it's the injury. I don't know what it was. He was benched this year. It looked like he was deactivated.
And he's a poor bench player this year. I mean, it's one thing if he got better with the less playing time, like the first round pick that we had, JTS or whatever his name. I don't know, man. He just needs to go. And Levante David, I will say this, right? Levante David needs to get a 2-year deal and needs to retire a Buck. And we need to put his number in the ring of we need to retire his number and put him up in the Ring of Honor as soon as possible, and let him retire nicely. Evans is got to be back, but I don't know that we're going to do all of these people. I don't know. I think the top 3 guys that you need are your left tackle, number 1, the safety, number 2. And I think the quarterback, number 3, and I think Levante David might be a casualty. I think what
about Mike Evans?
Mike Evans, I think, might be a casualty. However, I will say this, you and I are getting up there. I'd love to lose a step and play like that.
Well,
I'm telling you what.
Right. Exactly. People thought, he's going to lose the step. He hasn't lost the step. He still had 1,000 receiving yards. You see in this game how big of a component he was. And I looked to my co-host, JP Peterson, a couple of weeks ago when we were live from Raymond James Stadium. And I said, could you imagine an offense without Mike Evans? And I cannot. This offense goes through Mike Evans. I love Chris Godwin. I love the future of Trey Palmer. I love the future of Cade Otton and Rachaad White. But Mike Evans is this offense, and you got to figure out how to re-sign him.
If you're going to re-sign Baker, then they're probably going to try and re-sign Evans. But I don't see it happening. I just don't, because of the fact that that Godwin is younger, and you have so many of these guys to re-sign. The left tackle needs to be re-signed, bar none. He needs to be before Evans. The safety, God help me. I wanted to draft Taylor instead of him, and I've been screaming that we should have drafted Taylor, the running back from Indianapolis, instead of him. But that's another eating crow on my part. I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. Winfield Jr. is a beast, and he needs to be re-signed. And if we can't get Evans, we can't get Evans. I mean, I just – there's only so many chairs to go. So, there's only so many spaces. When the music goes out, there's only so much money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's not like coaches. You know what I mean? Yeah. Coaches, you can get whatever. You know what I mean? But with the players, there's only so much money to go around. Yeah. And listen, I'm going to get off the phone because you're freezing your butt off. And it hurts me just watching you, man. You need to go home.
I will get out of here, Cole. Appreciate the call.
Take care.
As always, my friend right there.
Oh, yeah.
He knows. I feel like, I'm kind of freezing here. So somebody called in, which I'm surprised that she would actually call in while I'm live. So let's see what she wants, because I think she may want to talk about the Bucs. And if she does, we will talk about it. We'll read the rest of these comments, and then we'll get the hell out of here for the night. Hello. You're on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Is this my mom?
I'm so sorry that you.
Whoa! Wait a minute now. You watched the Lions game or didn't watch the Lions game. The Bucs season is over with. So, Mom, give me some thoughts here. Welcome to the Sports Web.
Oh, I just know for a fact if they messed up that they would lose the game.
Well, you're exactly right. And
The
we talked
Lions,
about it. We
they
talked
took-
about winning the turnover battle, and that's exactly what the Bucs didn't do today, which, you turned the ball over 2 times. You don't deserve to
Exactly.
win. So,
Well, the Lions have been waiting since 1958 to come to the Super Bowl, and they've been waiting since 1991 for the playoffs. So
yeah.
they're not going to let any team walk in there and take it.
Now, can I tell you, Mom, you were absolutely right about the cold weather tonight because I did not pack at all. I didn't pack a coat. I was looking for my coat. I didn't pack it, and I'm freezing my ass off out here over at Riverters. So we've been at this for about 2 hours, so I was about ready to wrap this up. So give me some final thoughts about this Bucs season as their season is over, of course, against the Lions. You feeling good about bringing Baker back? You feeling good about bringing Bowles back there, Mom?
Baker Mayfield, I don't blame everything on him.
Okay.
I don't. Him throwing an interception, it's the end of the night. I don't understand that call they made when they threw it into when they supposed to catch another touchdown and
Right.
they didn't call it interference. I'm really upset about that call.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. You've watched football probably longer than I have, and the proper call at that point, Mom, is that when the defender is not turned around and they're face guarding and they have their hands on the wide receiver, you can't do that. And furthermore, you have to make that call. For me, the decision to go for 2 points at that juncture doesn't make sense, but you should give the Bucs another opportunity to at least go for it because that's the right call. But you're exactly right. Good stuff, as always.
Absolutely.
So, all right.
Absolutely.
All right, good stuff. I will go ahead and fire the cannons. I love you, Mom.
Bucs did a great job.
Yes, they did.
Fantastic job.
Yes, they
coming
did.
Back.
There you go,
And
ladies
I
and
don't
gentlemen.
think they should get
Go ahead.
rid of Baker Mayfield.
Well, and I think they'll make the decision to re-sign him. We'll see how much for, and I definitely think Todd Bowles is coming back. Mom, I appreciate the time. Love you. Thanks a lot for the support all year long. Wish you were here. We'll have to get you here next year for Riverters, okay?
Absolutely. Well, we're going to wait for the Lions and the Buffalo Bills to take Super Bowl.
All right, so there you go.
That's
That's her choice right there, ladies and gentlemen. Go to Vegas with it. She's saying Lions and Buffalo Bills in Super Bowl 58 in Vegas. And right now, just to update the score, KC up 20-17 over Buffalo, but still time in this game. So we'll see if your pick holds up here. Appreciate the time. Love you as always, and we'll see you soon, okay?
You too. Did a fantastic job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. By the way, public service announcement. When your mom says to pack a coat, pack a coat. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We'll read the rest of these comments, and I will get out of here for the night. I need some hot cocoa. I need to get in my car. With the heat, I still got to pack up and get going here. Tough loss today. Good season. Ryan Jensen, absolutely, big time loss here at the beginning of the year. Would this team be better off with him at center? Absolutely, I agree. If we retain Baker, it has to be the priority to have targets who can catch passes. Thrown harder than normal, especially with Evans, whether it's thrown harder than normal or not, he's your most dependable weapon. And once again, great comment by David. Jim says, go Buccaneers with Todd Bowles. Phil Perry, great season, Bucs. You went further than seemingly everyone predicted. Bravo, Zulu from the retired military commander. Relax now, heal up, so look forward to next season. This spectacular season is just beginning. I went to the University of Oklahoma, have followed Baker since all the talent is there, just a little bit more tweaking. Totally believe you guys really will rock next season. I like the optimism. Of course, David, new web head here on the Sports Web, Phil Perry from I Love St. Pete. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot. Keep on tuning in here and calling in. If Evans goes anywhere, it will be Houston. Christopher Cole, that's certainly a possibility. Kansas City also another one. You say Houston because he's originally from Houston there, Texas A&M. that area, went to college. And, of course, C.J. Stroud, tremendous year as a rookie, being eliminated yesterday, being dominated by a better team in Baltimore. But the future is bright with that kid. I'd rather see Mike Evans in the uniform. I don't want to think about that. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. You guys are keeping me out here all night long. What's your name? Where you calling from? Welcome to the Evolution.
Hey, stop making all that noise and go home. Get out there, weather.
I know. I'm telling you. Mr. Williams, where were you today? The crowd, it was a little bit warmer when the sun was out, but when the sun went down, I started to freeze. So what do you have to say about the Bucs? Yes.
Hey, man, one thing we had a hell of a season. We had a hell of a run.
Yep.
Like I say, but to all the Dallas Cowboy fans, guess what? Tampa went farther than you all.
Well, exactly. That's what you can tell Cowboy fans. Yes.
Yeah. Baker Mayfield, I salute you. Levante Davis, that'll be cool if he come back. But let's get his gold jacket ready if he don't.
Good call.
45. You're out of here.
You're out of here. He's been out of here. I mean, he didn't show up today. Did anybody see Devin White? With a real Devin White, please stand up. And he didn't stand up today. He was not in the building.
Yeah.
So,
Jason, it's right. I hope you sit down and evaluate him. Pay number 31. Pay Antoine Winfield Jr.
Yes.
Pay that man.
Absolutely.
And Mike Evans is going to end the book. God forbid, I hope we can get him some more money and bring him back.
Sure.
Chris, you did good. Hey, Baker. Hey, right at the end, you tried. Hey, you got us around 2-8. Hey, and you did good. Did good.
Definitely.
Hold your head up. Hey man, I say give Baker 2 more years, bro. And
it's certainly possible to give him a 2 or 3 year contract for $30 to $35 million a year. Absolutely possible. Yes.
Yeah, right. Like I put in my comments at the bottom, hey, we will be back.
Yeah. Well, you certainly have that. Yes. Go ahead.
But there's certain pieces that we won't be back with.
Well, that's
David.
Yeah.
Lie. But I am still a big fan of Jamel Dean. I'm sorry.
Well, and I thought Jamel Dean played a very good game today. Had the opportunity for the interception early on, but he played very well today. Had some pass breakups, big time plays in this game. So we'll see.
That guy, Yabi, man, he's gonna be a force to reckon with.
Oh, Diaby and Kalijah Kancey. I love it. I love those kids.
My offensive lineman, what's his name? Number 78. I keep forgetting.
Tristan Wirfs. Yes.
Yes. Him. Yeah, if he don't go to the Pro Bowl, something's wrong.
Well, there needs to be an investigation already because they didn't put in Antoine Winfield Jr., but that's neither here nor there. You're exactly right. Tristan Wirfs, one of the best young left tackles in the league, easily. Yes.
Because for him to go from the right to the left and no sack, bro, and he picked up 43 blitzes, my man.
Yeah.
And it ain't nothing come from his side this year as sacking the quarterback. Come on, man. And like Antoine was like the whole year, been like Superman with a cape on.
Oh, he was easily the best linebacker on this team still, Mr. Williams. Thanks a lot for the call.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you as always. Yes, sir. I will.
Get out of there. Listen to your mom.
Yes.
Get the hot chocolate.
Yes.
Hey,
I need some hot chocolate.
Call call Harry and tell him to come out the house with my chicken wings.
I will. We will get your chicken wings, Mr. Williams. We will all meet up one of these days and talk shop. I promise
Tell
you.
him I say, meet me at Hooters.
Meet you at Hooters. Okay, we'll do that. We'll work on that, Mr. Williams. I appreciate you as always. Love you too, brother. Love you too. Great stuff there by Mr. Williams. We'll read the rest of these comments, and I'm going to get the hell out of here because I feel like an ice cube at this point. I'm not used to this weather. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know how do Northerners from New York, and I know it's cold up in Michigan, right? How did they live through that crap? How do you guys live through that? I mean, I like to see snow, but how do you guys deal with that on a daily basis? Like I'm freezing right now. Tough loss today. Good season, Ryan Jensen. Yes, David. All right, good stuff there, Phil. Thanks a lot for the comments. Been a Browns fan for 68 years. Trust me, do not start playing musical chairs with head coaches. Nobody's going to come in without knowing his personnel, make things better. Agree. Good stuff there, David. Let me go out to Dave. Can we all just say Jason Light did a great job this season with the roster? No money. Yes, completely. Let the truth set you free. Jason Light did a tremendous job this year with what he was given with, the big time cap penalties there. Goodness gracious. This game between the Bills and the Chiefs is a spirited one, if you will, back and forth. But good comment. Let's go out to Cole. Kicker, doink off the pole. You don't block the number 2 pick. He sacks us for another field goal. Then you kick the extra point. Then you're driving for a field goal to win. It's not about the plays you make. It's about the ones you don't. Great stuff, Cole. CSB, brother. Thank you. Way to go, Peter, on a fantastic football season this year. SportsWeb is an amazing show. Peter, outstanding host in the Greek. Well, like I said, it's a great show. Thank you, Cole. Appreciate you. David, player who got the foolish late call for almost taking off the helmet of a receiver on what in the world knew was going to be a Lions running back. It is the same player who tried to blow the Eagles game by pulling on the helmet of Hurts. Push. That was KJ Britt. Good comment, David. I remember people, though, we were a joke signing Mayfield. Looks like the joke's on them and me. If he signs back, I'm buying a Baker jersey signed former Task Force member. Welcome to the dark side. Dave says, JTS is a joke. Let's just say it. Dave, England, it's 11 here, Peter. Quit your whining. Yes, I agree with you. But like I said, I'm not used to this, and I don't know how you guys up north get used to it. I'm freaking talking right now, and I can see my own breath. So it's pretty cold out here. I'm just saying, for Floridians. Again, going back to it, Floridians, we're like Chihuahuas. We don't have the fur to deal with the coldness. And I've been out here for almost all day long. This last 2.5 hours has kind of hit me because there's no sun now. The Bucs say that Baker had 2 interceptions today. In reality, threw 1. I wish they adapt the system like baseball era to number 13, no pick for a quarterback. David, great comment as always. The commissioner had to tell Coach Bowles not to blitz this week. Sheesh, how you blitz an athletic quarterback every series last game, but not a slow-ass quarterback. Brandon, I don't understand it either. I always wondered what the O-line could have been if Jensen was still there. Scott, sorry about the Bucs loss. It's okay. Thank you very much for the comment. Dave, Brandon, great comment also. And Dave, of course, another great comment. So absolutely, thank you, sir. David, I know I can't win against 2020 hindsight, but I'll say it anyway. I like the decision to go for 2, make the first attempt. You win with another touchdown, fail on the first attempt, and we still tie with the touchdown 2-point conversion. I understand all that, but I would say that you just kick the extra point. I think you're making MAGA. Okay, I don't know what that is. Thank you. Get rid of injury-prone tackling dummy Davis. CJ Gardner-Johnson needs to stop trash talking about Baker Mayfield. Then he even said, not chosen words. Greg, Mike Evans cannot be a casualty. Give me a break. This team goes through Evans. They will sign Baker and Evans. This organization knows the team is close and will find a way to keep him intact. Josu, Peter, we will see you outside during the hockey and baseball games. Yes, more than likely, it will be a little bit warmer outside when we do that. Always listen to Mom, Peter. That's probably the comment of the night. As she says, because we get a chance to see her, and she's usually here, and I think that's the reason why the Bucs lost today, because she's the good luck charm. And when she shows up and watches the game, the Bucs win today. She wasn't here, but all the Bucs fans were here. Nearly pulled it out. I rate this 8.5 out of 10. Mike, I agree with you. It was unbelievable, unexpected, great year. Our GM and coach did their magic in the draft and free agency. This team could make a good run next year. Great job, Peter. Go Bucs. Go Bucs. Fire those cannons. Fire those cannons. Why not? Let's go ahead and do it. Let's do it. I know they lost, but that's okay. Here we go. Buccaneers. It's cold. Okay. Let's go on to Mr. Williams. I will be back 2024, 31, 13, 54, and 6 Tampa Bay for live. Good stuff there, Dave. Great show all season long. Thanks for the opportunity to chat and talk about the Bucs with you and other Bucs fans. It's great when you're 700 miles away and don't have Bucs fans. Look forward to watching and talking about the offseason. Keep up the great work. We shall do that. No show tomorrow night. Wednesday night, we'll be back. As the wind kicks up there, that's why they all come down here to live. But again, it is just a little bit chillier than normal. Final recap here. Bucs lose to the Lions 31-23 to end their season. Let's go out to the tribal troll.
Acknowledge me.
As I'm trying to get out of here because I'm
Peter Blake, it is 9 o'clock on a Sunday night. There's not an employee in that damn restaurant. The chairs are stacked up. The lights are out. Go home. Warm up.
I'm trying to go home, but you just called in. But you're exactly right. I definitely need to warm up because I could see.
I agree with Mama Blake. Dumbass, get a hoodie.
Well, I don't know where the hoodie's at. That's the thing. I don't know where it's at this point.
Holy God, what is wrong with you?
I have no idea. Somebody needs to find my hoodie. Somebody stole my spider web hoodie. I was looking for it today.
Yes. You're gonna be back. You're gonna be back in the office tomorrow.
Yes, if I don't catch a cold or the
All
flu,
right, bro.
I should
I'll
be.
see you in the morning.
All right, man. Appreciate you
All
as
right, man.
always.
Good night. Drive safe.
Yeah, good night. Thanks a lot for the super chats there. YouTube super chats open. Facebook stars. Recap for the night. We'll read more of these comments. Man, we love you, Peter. But go warm up. Appreciate you. Greg, appreciate that night, Peter. Go get warm. Go Bucs. Absolutely. Go Bucs. Fire those. So the season is not over with. We still have the off season, but like I said, we'll be back Wednesday night. Bucs lose to the Detroit Lions 31-23. Thanks a lot to all the Bucs fans for showing up not only today, but throughout the season with the text messages and the well wishes and the phone calls. We'll continue to monitor with this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. And of course, the playoffs. Playoffs are going on. So we'll see who will be in the NFC Championship game. As we know, it's going to be the Lions versus the 49ers. How will that turn out? And who will be in the AFC Championship game? We'll be giving you picks and talking about that. But once again, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. 7.2 followers. I think we can get to 8,000 eventually. I think we can get to 10,000. And do 3 things here. You know them. You love them. You got to have them. Please, God, let me warm up. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. Maybe not today, Bucs fans, but that's okay. A great season. Bucs lose to the Lions 31-23. We'll be back on Wednesday night on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Stay warm, my friends.